is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Holy cats, I'm too busy, man, for the pandemic. I thought we were supposed to slow down a little bit. Wasn't supposed to be crazy. This last couple of days. The no Jags game in London had me kind of on the merry-go-round yesterday. And now we're having some fun with it today. Just got off a Zoom call with Joe Schobert, so we'll hear from the Jaguars linebacker. And he's still up in the Wisconsin area, of course. I just had a newborn and now a big part of that Jaguars defense. How will that look in 2020? And how's the adaptation going to what potentially could be a move to at least a hybrid, if not completely more of a look of a 3-4. So we'll get some of the thoughts from Joe Schobert. We'll talk about that. We have EWC Day, Edward Waters College. We'll have some guests on as we continue to celebrate local sports here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. So we have that lined up for you as well. We'll have some fun with it. And big interview coming up in just a couple of moments, scheduled at least in just a few moments, is Dana White, president of the UFC. This is a big deal in Jacksonville, you know. From a sports perspective, I think from maybe a network perspective, from a government perspective, the UFC coming to Jacksonville on Saturday night is a really, really big deal. Yet it's kind of quietly a big deal. And we'll see how it's received. The first live sporting event in the United States will be the UFC, and it'll take place right here. How that all came together, what are the risks involved, what kind of card they have, which looks to be a pretty good one, and you can talk more about that. But Dana White will join us in just a little bit, so we'll have some information about it. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane Coos, fired up for a little UFC talk here on the show to start it.
I mean, without a doubt, man, I put in my due diligence with the golf talk. We celebrated, our local golf day, and I thought I did pretty well with that. You know, I survived for 2.5 hours of nonstop golf talk. So to me, we're trying to make it all even, right? So now we're talking fight talk, and I can appreciate that. And obviously Dana White, you know, he's kind of the who's who of the UFC. You know, he's obviously the president of it. And let's be honest, it's a big deal for Jacksonville, obviously, right? But it's also a big deal for professional sports because literally the UFC is going to be ushering in professional sports again, right? Where we're talking about, we don't know when MLB is going to start back up. We don't know when the NHL is going to start back up. What about the NBA? Well, the one constant right now with professional sports, the one constant right now with entertainment on TV is going to be the UFC.
Absolutely. All eyes will be on Jacksonville. All eyes will be on UFC. I expect some pretty good numbers from ESPN Plus and the pay-per-view portion of the UFC coming up Saturday night. Brent Martineau, former Jags player, current MMA fighter, Austin Lane on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. And we are pleased to be joined by the president of the UFC right now, Dana White. Dana, thanks for taking a few minutes. I know it's a busy week, kind of a milestone week, at least in our sports world. Hope you and your family are doing well.
We're awesome, man. Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, we're excited here in Jacksonville as well. And quite simply, Dana, why Jacksonville?
Well, the governor was on board, the mayor, the athletic commission, and the city of Jacksonville was very open to us coming there. Everybody was great, so could not have happened without the mayor. So we really appreciate it. We're excited, man. Let me tell you what. I'm flying there in 2 days. I can't wait to get the hell out of here and get on a plane and go to Jacksonville.
Where is there?
I'm in Vegas, man. I'm in Vegas. And usually Vegas is a great place to be. Nowhere is a great place to be right now. You want to be anywhere but where you are, and I can't wait to get there.
Hey, record that and send it to the city of Jacksonville, by the way, the Bureau, because Visit Jacksonville.
Of
Dana
course,
White just said, I can't wait to get the hell out of Vegas and go to Jacksonville.
Exactly. I like it.
Hey, how hard was this to do it? You had obviously been in the headlines and about trying to get the fights and keep them going, and you almost had it going in California. Then everybody called that one off, at least put it on hold, and now here we are, May 9th, coming up Saturday night right here at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena in Jacksonville. How hard was this to finally get going?
Yeah, it's one of the hardest things that we've ever done as a company and me professionally in my entire career. And believe me, we've done some tough stuff. It was hard to do, yet it was fun, challenging. Me and my crew would get a bunch of work done, and we'd go to bed that night and wake up the next day, and the whole all the rules had changed, and we had to start all over again, literally every day. So, it was tough.
Hey, what's up, Dana? This is Austin Lane. It's great to hear from you again, man.
You, buddy.
Listen, in terms of the fights coming to Jacksonville, right? Obviously, I train MMA. I know a lot of people that are super excited for this card. I know a lot of people that are super bummed that they can't actually go witness this fight in person in UFC 249. It's almost like having the best party ever, but no one can be invited to it. You have to watch it on TV. With that being said, though, I mean, could we see possible fights down the line for the city of Jacksonville? Because they kind of did you a favor, possibly, with having the fights here, you know, the 3 fight cards coming up. So could we see fights in the future now in Jacksonville, Florida?
You got that right. That's absolutely what we're going to do. You know, when the world gets back to normal, you know, we're going to the Indian Reservation in California, you know, for the first fight there, and we will definitely be back to Jacksonville with a big fight and, you know, get all the people from Jacksonville in the arena. It'll be great.
Dana White with us, president of the UFC. How much risk is involved here?
How much risk? I mean, everything. Listen, it's riskier for me to drive home after this interview. You know, everything in life is risky. There are no guarantees. But we're doing everything we can possibly do. We submitted a 30-page document to the governor of Florida and the governor of Nevada on all the things that we're going to do to make sure that this event is as safe as possible. And, you know, we're going to spend a lot of money to do it.
Dana, obviously, you know, right now with the landscape of COVID-19, it's probably hard to get a true fight camp in with gyms being closed and everything. What percentage of fighters would you say on the roster right now are actually excited to, you know, try to get a fight coming back up? And what percentage of fighters would you say are kind of going to stay low right now and wait till everything clears up?
We've had good response from the fighters. I mean, that's why, listen, nobody that's working this event as far as an employee of mine or fighter has been made to do this. These guys all want to do it. Everybody who's a part of this event wants to be a part of it. I haven't laid any employees off. You know, we came up with stipend money for the fighters that couldn't fight. The list goes on and on. So everybody who's a part of this thing wants to fight. And if people don't want to fight, they don't have to. We'll be back up and running May 9th. Who knows how long this thing's going to last? But, you know, people can come in and still get fights toward the end of the year or whatever they want to do.
Obviously, with UFC 249 coming up, I mean, it's one of the most stacked cards literally of all time. I mean, I compare it to like UFC 100, really. It's that great and everything. Let's be honest, though, and I'm going to quick knock on wood as loud as I can for you, but, you know, things can happen, right? Fighters can get hurt. Fighters can have trouble cutting weight. You know, with the COVID-19 testing, a fighter could come down with something. So in your opinion, are there precautions like in place in case a fight, maybe like a fighter backs out? Is there a backup plan? Or more than likely with everything going on right now, will the fight probably be scrapped then? There
are and will be plenty of things that happen. I promise you. You know, honestly, who's better at dealing with this stuff than we are? I mean, literally, if you look at what we've been able to pull off when the world is normal, let alone now with all the craziness that's going on. I mean, people can say what they want to say. I was ready to go in California. I had the event. I had the right to do it and everything else. ESPN asked me to stand down and not do that event. So I did, out of respect for them. But we'll figure it out. I'm going to have 3 different cards there that week with men and women ready to go. So we'll figure it out.
Dana White, UFC president, with us on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane. By the way, if anyone ducks out late in the heavyweight, I got one sitting right next to me. I'm his promoter, just in case you need anybody. But just a quick ride away. Did the 3-fight package here in Jacksonville, why did you do it that way?
Because we were headed there for this event. We have the commission, the mayor, and the governor all on board. The city has been great to us. We said we might as well just set up camp there and knock out 3 fights that week because it totally makes sense.
So talking about UFC 249, Dana, and like I said, this card's going to be a barn burner. I mean, obviously headlined by Tony Ferguson and Justin Gaethje. And where we're at right now, I would say Zhang Weili and then obviously Joanna Jędrzejczyk, fight of the year hands down so far. Am I wrong to think, though, that this is going to be a guaranteed fight of the year contender with Justin Gaethje and Tony Ferguson? Because sometimes we hype these fights up, you know, they don't come through all the time. But with these two guys, their personalities, the way they go at each other, I have a hard time saying this fight's not going to be a barn burner.
As a promoter, you can never go out and guarantee anybody anything. If you're going to put up money on Saturday night, I can say, listen, stylistically, this is a great fight. These guys are this and that. I guarantee you, there is no way that this fight is an absolute and total just madness. Both of the, stylistically, Tony Ferguson hasn't lost in 8 years. You can't train for Tony Ferguson. This guy throws crazy elbows, flying things. He continues to move forward. It's like he feels no pain. The guy is unbelievable. Justin Gaethje has fought 6 times in the UFC, 7 UFC bonuses. He moves forward. He takes shots. He tries to knock you out. It is impossible for this fight not to be incredible. As a promoter, I feel comfortable telling you that.
Well, and you said it, the world pretty much knows who Tony Ferguson, the world should know who Justin Gaethje is. If you don't, just watch any one of his last 5 fights, and you're going to see the violence in full force. Have you ever met a fighter like Justin Gaethje? Because listening to his interviews, listening to him speak on the sport of MMA, like some guys do it for championships, some guys do it for the money, obviously. Justin Gaethje just seems like he does it to get punched in the face and come forward and do, and then inflict his own set of violence. Because don't forget, this guy's an all-American wrestler. This guy could easily take fights to the ground and use his technique. He doesn't do that. All he believes in is taking damage and giving damage out. Is there anybody else like Justin Gaethje in the history of the UFC?
He's an incredible fighter. He hits so hard, and you're absolutely right. He loves to knock people out. Move forward, take shots, trade, punch for punch until he hits you with the one that knocks you out. And, the fight that everybody wants to see, the fight that the world wants to see is Tony Ferguson versus Khabib. If you cannot make Tony versus Khabib, the only other best fight that you could possibly make on earth is Tony Ferguson versus Justin Gaethje. This fight is incredible. I guarantee you fireworks. I guarantee you an incredible main event. I guarantee you a Fight of the Year candidate on Saturday night.
Well, and speaking of fireworks, we got Donald Cowboy Cerrone in Jacksonville as well. I think he brought his RV into town. and I was listening to an interview with ESPN where he said it's his plan to win the fight, obviously, against Anthony Pettis, which is obviously a great fight in itself. But then he wants to stay in Jacksonville and try to fight on all 3 fight cards. Now, crossing the hump over Anthony Pettis, easier said than done. But if Cowboy pulls it off, doesn't take a lot of damage, will you actually grant him his wish of trying to get 3 fights here in Jacksonville?
No. No. Yeah, you don't come out of a fight with Anthony Pettis. Yeah, going in, he's like, I want to fight 3 times. We'll see how he feels after he comes out of Saturday night.
UFC 249 on ESPN Plus, pay-per-view, Saturday right here in Jacksonville. We are talking with Dana White, president of the UFC on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. We really appreciate the time, and it's pretty cool that Jacksonville will be the center of the sports world on Saturday night, first live event in the United States right here in Jacksonville. A little-known fact, by the way, Mayor Lenny Curry served on the boxing commission here in the state of Florida. So working with Mayor Lenny Curry and obviously the government officials here in Jacksonville and the state of Florida were paramount to getting this done and this in Jacksonville. Dana, how much did you take a look at the AEW and what they did here with an event? And also there was a combat night that also was done in Jacksonville. Did you need to see any of that, or was that more for the networks and everybody else?
Yeah, no, it was all about the mayor and the governor. All about the mayor and the governor. So they've been awesome, and we're coming. And I seriously cannot express to you enough how excited I am to get to Jacksonville.
Yeah, you sound like you are. I've got a fight question for you. I'm a novice in this, man. Obviously, Austin's the expert. And Austin, block your ears for a moment. But, a few years back, Austin obviously got a chance against Greg Hardy and lost that bout. From obviously, you run this thing, and you've done such an extraordinary job with it. But how much do you relate to the fighter and that opportunity that you guys provide to get back up off the mat, climb back up the ladder, and at least have that carrot dangling? How much respect do you have for all the fighters, the ones that have made it, the ones that have maybe dropped down the rung a little bit and are trying to get back up?
Yeah, it's hard for me to express to you how much respect I have for fighters. There's very few of them on planet Earth. They're a special, different type of human being, and very few people can do it. And when you get to the level of the UFC and you're able to break into the top 10, top 5, or become a world champion, they're very special, unique individuals.
Dana, with the climate right now, professional sports being on hold, I feel like sports channels are kind of desperate for content. And, ESPN, they have the Jordan documentary. That's been great. I'm not trying to disrespect ESPN because they're kind of paying our bills, Brent, you know what I'm saying? But I can only watch so much axe throwing and, like, old-school baseball playoff games. So with that being said, Dana, I've always heard that the Ultimate Fighter, you still plan on bringing that back. Would this be the time to bring back the Ultimate Fighter from the standpoint of, it's reality television, but it's also fighting, but it can kind of capture the audience a little bit, especially on ESPN, which is kind of hurting for content? You would think right now with COVID-19 and everything going on that the Ultimate Fighter would be a perfect time to come back on right now.
What an incredible question. We're literally working on that right now. Great question, and the answer is yes. And we are working on that right now.
That's awesome. And then I guess...
And you're right. You know what? You don't realize... I don't like television shows. I can't get into TV and all this Netflix and all this crap. I don't do it. Every time I start watching a TV show, I'm like, I could be doing much better things with my time right now. And you don't realize how much you miss live sports. I mean, I'd even watch golf right now if it was on.
Oh, Dana, don't say that, man. I have to talk about golf like twice a week on this show. Don't say that, man, because now my co-host is going to be all excited.
Sit down and watch that horrible, boring sport right now.
Okay, thank you. A little better for me. It's a little better. It makes my job a lot easier going forward. I appreciate it. Well, you mentioned it then, the Ultimate Fighter, right? I mean, there's a need for it right now. What makes the Ultimate Fighter so great, though, obviously, what brings the eyes there are the coaches, okay? Now, in terms of the coaches, we came across a guy at the Super Bowl, at Radio Row, I guess you would call it, named Jorge Masvidal. I actually talked to Jorge Masvidal right before he went after Kamaru Usman, and they kind of had their whole scuffle thing, and they had to be separated. It was craziness at Radio Row. But my question to you is, do you need a guy like a Jorge Masvidal, like a Conor McGregor, to headline, to spearhead these coaches for the Ultimate Fighter to try to get all the eyes on back to ESPN?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it right now, if you look at the landscape, you could have Usman versus Covington, you could do Usman versus Masvidal as coaches, you could do Khabib versus Tony or whoever wins this weekend. You could do Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa. I mean, you could have some incredible coaches right now.
All right, Dan, we got 2 more questions for you, then we'll let you get out of here, man. So obviously, can we assume that the winner of the Tony Justin Gaethje fight is going to fight Khabib, even though he's probably hesitant to make the Tony Khabib fight for like the 10th time, it seems like, if he does in fact win?
Yes, I think so. I mean, it's what you have to do. I mean, let's say Tony wins. I'm just saying, let's say Tony wins. Tony would be the interim champion. Khabib would be the champ. They would have to fight.
Last question for you then. You're obviously a big New England Patriots fan. You're from Boston. How do you feel about Tom Brady going to Tampa Bay #1? And also, do you feel like my co-host is feeling where the Patriots are going to try to tank this year a little bit, not win a lot of ball games, and try to get Trevor Lawrence? Because I feel like it's not in Bill Belichick's DNA to try to tank the season.
Yeah, well, if you look at the draft and how they reacted in the draft and really didn't get, no quarterback yet, and it played out pretty interesting to say that, hey, they're saying they're going to tank this season. Will there even be a season? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think they're looking at this season as like a throwaway season to build for the season after that. I do agree with that.
See that? Now, tanking's a dangerous word. Don't say tank.
It is, man. You're going to offend a lot of people.
They're not going to win a lot of games this year.
And I don't think tank is the word. I think it's actually brilliant. When you look at what's going on right now, I mean, you're telling me people can't golf right now? Of course they could golf. Everybody's afraid. Everybody's afraid of the media and what the media is going to say about them and all this stuff. And obviously, I'm not afraid of that. So here we are doing what we're doing. They might not go this season. There might not even be a season this season.
Well, Dan, and I'm glad you brought that up real quick because obviously the media and the UFC, they've always kind of been back and forth. Even when the UFC first came around, there was talks of, it's a human cockfighting. It's a blood sport. It'll never compete with boxing. So you've essentially been dealing with the media in a not so good light since you started the UFC. I mean, is this where your mindset comes in where it's like, you know what, I'm going to do it my way because my way's got us to where we're at right now talking about UFC 249? And do you feel like... Oh, go ahead.
No, the reality is these guys know nothing about... They literally know nothing about the business, right?
Yeah.
And I've been saying this, and guys, I'm not saying this in a negative way and like to smash the media. This is a fact, okay? These are the weakest people on earth. Now, I will look at, somebody will say something, they'll write a stupid story about them that's completely not right or I don't agree with, right?
Correct.
I will Google this person, okay? Look at these people, okay? If you took the weakest people on earth, you put them all in a room together, these guys are wimps among wimps, okay? They are the wimpiest of the wimpiest. And these guys are the guys that are determining what I'm going to do with the toughest sport in the world or what the toughest athletes in the world should be doing or how they should have won that last fight. Are you kidding me? I mean, I'm being honest. That's the truth, You look at these media guys. These are the weakest people on earth. I will not let them determine how I'm going to run my business.
Brent, are you listening?
Why do I think he's talking to me and not 6'6", 245 Austin Lane
right now?
Brent,
are you listening right now, man? Oh, I'm going to use that speech the next time I go to the Jaguars press box, man. I can't wait to bring that one out, that little quote. I love it.
Dana White, we're rooting for you guys this Saturday night and the next 3 shows right here in Jacksonville because just as much we're rooting for Jacksonville and shine a light on it and kind of opening up sports once again in the United States. Best of luck this weekend, man. We really appreciate you taking some time.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
That's Dana White, president of the UFC, and he is fantastic. Raw and I was just surprised Kuz didn't have to use the drop button. That guy's got a filter on him.
I thought we were getting close.
But he's fantastic. We appreciate the time, really do, and appreciate everybody at UFC for helping us get that interview with Dana White. Because seriously, guys, I understand not everybody is as passionate about UFC as you are and as some others are, and it's really got a diehard and passionate base that's growing and growing and growing. And this is a big card. Yeah. I mean, again, I'm more of a novice in this sport, and admittedly, but that's a big card. Like, I know a lot of names on that card. And so, but this is a big deal for Jacksonville. This is a bit of a risk, but I think it's low risk, right, for Jacksonville. Somebody was telling me today, and as I was researching this and talking to them about just, okay, what's going to go on there, and there's going to be very limited people inside the arena on Saturday night. And somebody brought up the analogy, and they're not that far off. It might be more dangerous not dangerous, I wouldn't say is right, risky to eat at a place than it is to fight at the arena. They take so many precautions normally over disease and other things because there is blood exchanged and obviously fighting going on and body versus body.
And keep in mind, there's also weight
on a normal basis.
And there's also weight cutting too, right? So, I mean, once you cut weight, that kind of kills your immune system a little bit. Listen, to sit here and say that Dana White's not taking every precaution to the nth degree would be stupid, right? Because he knows what's on the line right now. He understands that, if they come out of Jacksonville in a bad light, it's going to crush the company. He understands that.
Yeah.
But I think
it'll crush. It might be a little strong, but it's not going to make him look good.
But at the end of the day, though, like golf courses, they're open. And you can call them essential if you want to or not. It is what it is. At the end of the day, there's stores opening back up. At the end of the day, the Jacksonville Zoo will be open by next week again, okay? So people are starting to go back outside and gather in groups again, okay? So to have 2 fighters who get paid for doing this, so I think it's essential for a fighter to get paid. So to have 2 fighters go in a cage, and do what they do, I mean, I can find worse things right now that are open that you can go to where you probably have a better chance of getting sick from.
Let me give you a few more details about this on Saturday night. Obviously, it's UFC 249, ESPN Plus, and the pay-per-view. The undercard starts on ESPN Plus, and then the pay-per-view, I think it's like $64.99 to get it. And big fight you guys just mentioned. If you want to see fighting, you're going to get a great fight.
And just to show you, just how good this fight is, Cowboy Cerrone, he's obviously a big name. He's on the prelims.
Yeah.
He's on ESPN Plus and ESPN. He's not even on the pay-per-view.
By the way, this actually was in place, I think, a couple of weeks ago, back in March, and fell through for a little bit. Then the California and the Indian reservation came about, and then ESPN said, whoa. Dana White obliged and said, okay, we won't do it right now. Came back on the table here in Jacksonville. And some of the things the precautions that'll take place is all everybody that's involved will be tested prior to coming to Jacksonville. Like Dana White will be tested before he lands in Jacksonville and goes from Vegas to here. They'll be tested once again on the ground, and in between fights they'll be tested as well. So that's an example of some of the precautions that are being taken place here in Jacksonville for this 3-fight trilogy, if you will, here in the River City. Also, the UFC is taking care of all expenses and also renting out the arena. So it's actually a moneymaker to a degree. I don't think it's a huge windfall, but it's a moneymaker to a degree for the city of Jacksonville. And you asked the question, he said it. This will be remembered.
Coming back. Yep.
They'll come back to Jacksonville, so all the fans and everything else can happen as well. Who knows when that is, but it looks like it will happen. And Dana White basically said it will happen.
Exactly, which is great for the city of Jacksonville, right? So, I mean, the UFC hasn't been in Jacksonville forever. They come back. Obviously, fans can't go there. So it's cool to hear that he is very adamant after this whole thing clears over that the UFC will indeed be coming back to Jacksonville.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun with Dana White. We'll share some of our thoughts more coming up a little bit later on in the program. We're also going to celebrate Edward Waters College. We have some guests lined up and some football talk always on an Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 Tuesday. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
It'll be hot today under mostly to partly sunny skies. Highs around 90 degrees. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
Weather is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Say thank you to your quarantine queen this Mother's Day with a one-of-a-kind piece of jewelry from Beard's Diamonds. Hey, Jacksonville, are you ready for some good news? Right now, you can score tremendous savings during the construction sale at Arlington Toyota. You choose 0 down with low payments or no payments until 2021. Now that's huge. Get to Arlington today, where you can drive away in a Toyota Corolla for $199 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. That's a pre-owned Corolla for $199 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. How about a Toyota Camry for $249 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. That's a pre-owned Camry for $249 a month with 0 down or no payments until 2021. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And you get Arlington's 30-day exchange policy on any vehicle you purchase. As always, your safety is Arlington's priority. So go see them today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com. May offers for full details.
Redbox has top entertainment when you need it most. Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are back in the highly anticipated sequel, Bad Boys for Life. Watch Mike Lowry and Marcus Burnett team up for one last mission to take down a ruthless assassin and leader of a Miami drug cartel. Let Redbox bring you together, because connection is everything, now more than ever. Make it a movie night and visit redbox.com for all the ways to watch. Prices may vary by location, subject to applicable taxes. Additional terms at redbox.com.
Out of sight, out of mind still holds true. When things disappear from your day-to-day life, you think about them less and less. This includes your business. Yes, things are difficult, but if your customers aren't thinking about you now, how can you be sure they will be when this is past? At Cox Media Group Jacksonville, we make sure they will. We'll help you stay on the mind of your customers and even get into the mind of some new customers. Contact CMG Jacksonville at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com and let's build Jax.
Chronic or acute pain doesn't just disappear during a crisis, and neither does Cora Physical Therapy. Throughout this time, Cora remains dedicated to your health and safety. With 15 Jacksonville area clinics, Cora Physical Therapy provides quality care wherever you're most comfortable. In clinic, where we disinfect after every touch. Telehealth gives you remote access to licensed therapists, or Cora therapists will even come to you. We are grateful for our patients' trust and our clinicians' bravery. What matters most is your health, so Cora provides care anywhere you prefer it. Learn more at coraphysicaltherapy.com.
This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you. Flying Iguana, Co-op 303, J. Turner & Company, Florida Eye Specialist, Insurall, Green Iguana Bath. If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
These days, the whole world is on the internet 24/7, on their phones, at work, even at the dinner table. It's the internet all the time. So why, when it's time to sell your home, does your traditional agent charge you 6% to list it on the MLS to other agents instead of targeting buyers directly online? That's why Rex was born. For a fee starting at 2%, Rex sells your home where buyers are looking, online, optimized by data-driven marketing, not the MLS. To get started, visit sellwithrex.com. That's sellwithrex.com. With Rex, selling or buying a home has never been easier. Price your home, get a virtual consultation, visit online open houses and showings, all from the comfort of your home with a few clicks of a button. Want to learn more? Visit sellwithrex.com or just use your phone and call 833-REX-HOME. 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-739-4663. License number CQ 1057788. Minimum fee may apply. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
We here at J. David Tax Law wanted to let our community know that we are here to help individuals and businesses with tax debt issues during the coronavirus event. The United States government has issued a $2 trillion economic stimulus package. The IRS has been tasked with collecting an unprecedented amount of tax debt to fund this historic initiative. If you owe a tax debt, there are new programs available that can help reduce or eliminate your IRS or sales tax burden. These programs expire on July 15th, 2020. So if you have federal or sales tax debt, payroll taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens, or unfiled returns, we are here for you and your family. Call J. David Tax Law now for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777. Or go to jdavidtaxlaw.com. Greater peace of mind is only a click or a phone call away.
Hello?
Hey, boss.
Why are you calling me?
Well, I was gonna come over, but I thought I should be practicing social distancing.
Oh, that's responsible of you.
Thanks. So I'm calling because I want to read you this new article in the Crooks of Us newsletter.
If it's about Safe Touch security, I don't want to hear it.
Boss, you want to hear this? The headline reads, Safer at Home with Safe Touch Security.
Safer at home with Safe Touch?
Yeah. It says, with people staying home more than ever these days, Safe Touch Security is the answer for peace of mind at home.
Yeah, the guaranteed response time, the two-way communicator, the video monitoring.
Yeah, and more.
Great. So what you're telling me is, whether they're home or not, the Crooks of Us motto is stronger than ever. Stay away from Safe Touch houses.
It's written in stone, boss.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida. Big and businesses are adjusting your needs in a safe, comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you. Portable Air and Power, Lawns Unlimited, Actual Labor, The Casket Store, Incredible Kitchen and Bath, Lake Area Water Sports. If you're open for business, let us know. Emailing us at openjax@cmg. Together, we're getting through this.
Do you hear something in the attic?
Where do you want to eat tonight?
Why won't the lights work?
Where should I take my car for engine work?
Do you think I need to get this spot checked out?
Where did these bugs come from?
When are we going to paint the house?
These and hundreds of other questions are still being asked daily. Will the answer be your business or your competitors? Don't leave it to chance. Let Cox Media Group Jacksonville make you the answer to their questions. Contact us at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com and let's build Jax.
Hey, it's Coos from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Now, I know there's a ton of ways you can listen to the show, but did you know one of the ways is through a smart speaker? Yes, the Google Home, the Amazon Alexa. It's pretty easy to do. Just tell either of them to play ESPN 690. Try it out weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m., and you can listen to Action Sports Jax.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
But let me tell you what, I'm flying there in 2 days. I can't wait to get the hell out of here and get on a plane and go to Jacksonville. I'm in Vegas, man. I'm in Vegas. And usually Vegas is a great place to be. Nowhere is a great place to be right now. You want to be anywhere but where you are, and I can't wait to get there.
Hey, listen, I'm not the guy that sits here on the radio and says, the interview we just did was awesome. Mm-hmm. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the heck out of it. Dana White was fantastic.
Yeah.
And if you didn't get a chance to listen to it, maybe you go back and listen to it. The Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 podcast. Of course, you can always go back and listen and watch our shows anyway all the time. But really check it out. Said a lot of nice things about Jacksonville. I think this would be a big deal for Jacksonville. There's no understating that. We're going to celebrate Edward Waters College in just a moment. But I want you to just follow up Dana White, who was on the show just moments ago. You guys do have a little bit of a relationship from that time that, gave you that opportunity against Hardy. And Hardy is on this card.
He is.
This weekend. So he continues to fight the UFC. But you saw him after that fight.
Yeah.
You haven't really told me a lot. You just said that you talked to him a little bit after that fight. Can you give us a little bit of insight
No,
what
for
that
sure.
was?
I think all I've talked about after the fight was I went to In-N-Out Burger and absolutely stuffed my face with like a 10 by 10, and it was what it was there. But yeah, actually, so when I got back from In-N-Out Burger, actually, I had a belly full of beef and French fries. I had to go to the concierge because I had to get a new suitcase. My suitcase got damaged on the way to Vegas, so I got a new one from Amazon. It shipped there, so I had to get it before I left for back to Jacksonville. And as I'm at the concierge, Dana White walks by me, and he walks by me, turns around, and notices it's me. And obviously, I'm dejected, man. I don't want to talk to anybody right now. Like, I'm probably
you've told us before you weren't in a great place after that.
I wasn't in a great mood. To be fair, I probably wasn't the nicest person, even the concierge. I just was like, hey, man, can I just get my suitcase and get out of here, please? So Dana White sees me, comes back, and we probably have a 5-minute conversation, man. And we have a 5-minute conversation about, what happened in the fight. We have a conversation about, my goals going forward, what he thinks of me, just as a person in general. And it literally ended with like two guys just kind of chatting with each other, and one guy his claim to fame is, getting like a 3.0 kill streak on Call of Duty. Another guy is a billionaire. Okay. So like we're not really from the same cloth. You know what I'm saying? Like we're two completely different people in the standpoint of success and business and all that stuff, man. But it was cool because Dana White, you see him all the time on TV.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's still like, you got Conor McGregor, you got Jorge Masvidal, but Dana White is still the face of the UFC. Don't get it twisted. And, just to even have a conversation with the guy and to, I guess, kind of bring himself off the pedestal a little bit and come down to my level, it was a pretty cool thing. So from that standpoint, I have a lot of respect for Dana White.
Yeah, I think in that respect, just judging the little I know, I would say raw, authentic, genuine, you are what you are. I mean, you guys have that in common. So yeah. I think he can, that resonates, you can have those kind of conversations with like-minded people in that sense. All right. So we'll play a little bit more of that interview, and it's a big deal for Jax. We'll talk more about it. We've got some football on the horizon as well. But we also, during this time, and I've really enjoyed this, getting to celebrate local sports here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Listen, this is a downtime for colleges, for local teams like the Icemen and Shrimp and Giants and all the teams. The Jags actually have been very relevant the last couple of months, given free agency and the draft and now the schedule that will come out this week. But we want to celebrate local sports, even though things have hit the pause button, what they're all about, what they're trying to do to stay relevant. And this has been an ample time to do it, a good time to do it. And right now we're going to do it some more. Edward Waters College doesn't get a ton of love, quite frankly. I'll be guilty of that at times. We try to get out there to some basketball games and football games, but they've got a lot of cool stuff going on. And we want to bring in right now Joshua Jackson. He's a little bit of everything now in town. You know that. Yeah. He's the voice of like every team on the PA. We're going to get to that part in just a little bit. But he is the sports information director at Edward Waters College as well. Josh, I hope you're doing well, man, you and your family. How's it going these days?
Gentlemen, thanks so much for having me on. It's different now. I'll say that, but everything is going well. Hope everything's going well with you guys as well.
Yeah, tell us what's going on campus. Like, obviously there's not a lot going on campus in terms of people there. Just like everybody else, school's been online and sports have been canceled, and that's the way of the world right now. But how have you guys been operating from a sports standpoint? Because you have a lot of exciting things going on.
Yeah, we absolutely do. We've made a bunch of huge announcements over the past few weeks, despite the fact that school is quote-unquote closed due to the coronavirus and our athletics have ceased for the year. We're still operating and getting ready for next year. We're still operating as business as usual. We've been doing a lot of Zoom calls and a lot of, social distancing things, but still, making sure everything proceeds forward and getting things moving in the right direction for the 2020-2021 campaign, which is huge for every single one of our sports at Edward Waters College. We've got some buildings being built on campus for athletics. We've done some renovation and a couple of buildings on campus for athletics. So we've got a lot of big things going on campus, and we're incredibly excited about what's getting ready to come up here for 2020-2021.
That's the voice of Joshua Jackson. You know the voice if you've been to a Sharks game, Giants game, UNF game. Where else?
Let's see. I was at JU for a bit. I've done some high school work around the city, so I'll just say I've been around. I'll say that.
That's right, and of course, bleed the FAMU as well, the Rattlers, don't you?
Yes, indeed. I did some work from my alma mater for 4 years. I was blessed to do that, but also great to be back here at EWC and working here in my hometown of Jacksonville.
Awesome. We're going to have Coach Ruffin on a little bit later, and the athletic director from Edward Waters College, too, during the show as we celebrate local sports here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. And it's Edward Waters College Day here on the show. You mentioned a lot of good things happening. How much of a battle is it for you guys sometimes to kind of get in the press, to get attention, because the Jags, obviously, even bring in the Gators and the Knowles in the college football realm, JU, UNF, there's a lot of different things, the Players' Championship, Daytona 500. It's easy to get buried. Can that be frustrating sometimes? And how do you have to attack that and do some things in a different way?
It can be. It can be. And just on the local front, you mentioned a few moments ago with the Jags. We've got two Division I schools here in the 904 area code with with JU and with UNF. You mentioned Florida down 45 minutes down the road. You mentioned Florida State 2 hours to our west. Not to mention you got Bethune-Cookman and Florida A&M, which have two big followings. You got Georgia. You got Georgia Tech. So it's hard to kind of be where we are, but the one thing that we try to do in sports information is really not make any excuses for it. We try to push our information out to the best of our abilities with the mediums that we have at our disposal. And I think we've done well. The things that we've been promoting on our website at EWCTigerPride.com, making sure that things stay constant and stay fresh with our social media pages as well on Facebook, Instagram, and some of the things we've done on our YouTube channel. We want to make sure that our message is put out, that while we, some of the pants that some of the other schools have maybe a little bit more expensive than ours, we still put them on the same way that the other schools do, and we do it just about better than anybody. And we're proud of the things that we've done and the amount of times we've been here at EWC.
Yeah, Joshua Jackson with us here at Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. And you guys do a fantastic job, not just you, but everybody over there. And listen, I'm not going to just say this because Josh was on. I've been in the business. When I was in college, I interned with the sports information directors. Mm-hmm. To me, it is one of the most thankless jobs there is in sports. Yeah. It really is. And you work a ton of hours. And quite frankly, you don't usually get paid a whole heck of a lot. You really don't. It's a labor of love, man. It's a lot of fun. You're on a college campus, and the interactions are great. But it is a labor of love. I wouldn't even make Josh say that because I just know that's what it is. I mean, that's fact. It is that way. And everybody who's ever been involved in that side of the business knows exactly what I'm talking about. But you guys... To me, Josh, you feel like you have some momentum going on there. What has changed in the last, say, I don't know what the time frame is. Is it 2 years? Maybe it's a handful of years. Maybe it's 7 years. But what has changed? You're bringing in new sports. You're obviously building facilities like the football stadium. We'll talk to Coach Ruffin about that a little bit later. But what, in your mind, changed over these last however many years to build the momentum that you have?
It really starts with leadership. It starts with leadership at the top with our president and Dr. A. Zachary Faison Jr. Everything that he's brought on, the energy, the vision that he has permeated through every single avenue of that campus on Kings Road, whether it's the things that we're doing from an academic standpoint, which have been tremendous over the time that he's been there, and bringing in our new athletic director, which you'll hear from later on at 5:30 this afternoon here with Dr. Paul Bryant coming over, a guy that's had 2 decades of experience at the Division I level as an athletic director to come to Edward Waters to, not necessarily, fix what's broken because it wasn't necessarily a broken system, but to tweak some of the things that we've been doing on campus to kind of make it a little bit better. It really starts with the leadership of those two guys. Those guys are on fire, and they make you excited to come to work every single day. I get calls from Dr. Bryant all the time. He gives me ideas, some of the things that we can do on our page and, things like that to promote us a bit better. So they make it fun. They make you ready to go to work and push out the products that we have. And it's exciting to work with. When you got two guys like that, that believe in the product and that support you in every single step of the way and what it is that you do, it makes it fun to go to work every day.
Joshua, on a more somber note, man, a few weeks back, Coach Arthur Harvey passed away. He's a big coach, obviously, for that university. I think you actually just got there right after he left, but I'm sure that you've heard a lot of great stories about him. What's one of the stories that you take with Coach, where we can kind of exemplify what he brought to that university?
I'm born and raised here in Jacksonville, like I mentioned a few moments ago. My dad actually was the information technology director at EWC for a number of years, and he came in while Coach Harvey was the head coach of the men's basketball team, and you would hear so many stories about how hard those young men worked and did not have the things that, our players have now. They played their basketball games at James Weldon Johnson Middle School, but were still able to put together 20-win season after 20-win season and be able to make a run at an NAIA national championship with just those small resources that they had at their disposal. You hear from his former players, and I hear from them often. Some of the connections that I have with the Giants, those are guys that played for Coach Harvey at Edward Waters. And just hear some of the stories that they were able to tell about how tenacious he was and how much of a basketball savant he was, and really just understanding the game, and really was just a father figure for those young men. And it certainly was a somber time for us here at EWC. We definitely send our condolences to his family, his wife, and his two kids. And he really did leave a positive mark on Edward Waters College, and it's something that we are going to continue to build our programs on with the things that he was able to do there at this time here at EWC.
Yeah, so many super people at EWC laid the foundation, and now it's headed in such a good direction from an athletic standpoint. Joshua Jackson, part of that sports information director. We are celebrating Edward Waters College today, local sports here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. All right, man, you are kind of local sports now. You don't get enough credit around here, but it is the Sharks and the Giants, and you mentioned JU and UNF, and so you've done the public address for all those different places, high schools as well. You've won rings. How many rings do you have?
I actually have 10 of them now. I'll get my 10th one here, and hopefully the next couple of weeks when the Sharks open things back up from our championship that we won last year with the National Arena League. I've been blessed to really be a part of two really huge organizations with the Sharks and the Giants, and the success that they've been able to have, and for them to, bestow me with those championships. It's been a blessing, man. So it's great to be the voice, and it's great to be all that, but it really just goes to the work of those two organizations for what they've been able to do for over 10 years now with both of them, and to be a part of it, it really has been a blessing.
All right, so I feel like I counted 9 amongst the two. Is there one I'm missing? What's the other one? Am I right there? 6 for the Giants, 3 for...
The ones that the Giants won, I got that 9th one a few weeks ago, and the 10th one that I'll get from the Sharks here in a couple of weeks. The first one that I actually won was back in 2011 when our baseball team at Edward Waters won the conference championship. So that's the first one there.
Okay,
and then the rest of them belong to the Sharks and Giants there. So yeah, so those are the 10 rings that I own there. So
all right, listen, you can't sit on the fence like Austin likes to do sometimes here. I don't let you sit on the fence. Okay,
that's true. You don't.
So it hurts. Number one, but
doesn't feel good.
Your favorite run, your favorite game, your favorite. You don't have to pick the ring.
Put him on the spot.
Nah, but I mean, come on. You've witnessed a bunch of games when you're the PA.
Yeah.
Of all these games, by the way, that's a lot of basketball games. It's a lot of football games. Do you have one that sticks out in the last decade?
Oh man, you would make me do this, Brent, and I'm going to get all kinds of phone calls and emails. And
well, listen, I'll take care of the political side for you. Okay, listen, folks, he loves them all. He loves them all, but everybody's got to have a favorite.
I think you always have to go back to your first professional championship, and I'll go back to Arena Bowl 24. I was actually there in Phoenix when the Jacksonville Sharks played the Arizona Rattlers in the championship game, and
awesome
I
game.
I was actually doing the color commentary for the radio station at the time we were on, and Terry Norvell was doing the play-by-play, and I was doing the color commentary, and I'm supposed to be in my professional mode and things like that. But the last play of the game, when Aaron Garcia, a future Hall of Famer, finds a local guy, Jackson High School graduate, and Jerron Harvey in the right corner for a touchdown, I am screaming like a child over the microphone, and to win that first championship and actually be there and see it. That's probably my favorite one out of all of them. I love all of them. I'm blessed to have all of them, but if I had to pick one, I think it's probably my favorite one.
By the way, that's an underrated game, like in Jacksonville sports. Like if you were really going to compile all the good, that was an unbelievable game, and the drama to win in a championship like that, and in the Arena League, which if I'm being honest, was probably more prevalent at that time in the early part of the decade than it is right now.
Yeah.
In terms of arena football, so that was a big moment. And like you said, Aaron Garcia, he is maybe the best to ever do it in the Arena League. So very well done. And by the way, love the professionalism and awareness to not even mention the other radio station. Have you heard that? That was very good. See that? All right, Joshua Jackson, Sports Information Director, Edward Waters College. So he also is the PA guy for a lot of different teams.
Yeah.
And therefore, he knows how to get that announcer voice on.
Well, let's be honest. He's probably been pretty quiet right now because there's not a lot of sports happening.
Well, we got to keep him fresh.
I like your style.
So here's the deal. Here's what I need you to do before we get you out of here, Josh. I need you to give us an intro to Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 to get everybody in on an afternoon. And I need you to include me, Brett Martineau, Austin Lane, and you don't even have to call him Justin Kuzart. We just go by Kuz around here. So you got a couple of elements here. You got Action Sports Jax, ESPN 690, Brent, Austin, Kuz.
This would take me 10 hours to do, by the way.
Can you give us...
I'm going to preface this by saying I'm doing this because I like you, Brent. We've been friends for a little minute, so I normally hate doing this, but I'm gonna acquiesce and do what you asked me to do. So
do you need some music?
Sure, if you got some, I'll take it.
It's like freestyle Fridays up in here. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, Kuz, we got a little. I mean, not too much, just a little low. Little get. We're gonna get Josh in a rhythm here.
Drop that beat, Kuz.
Let's see what we can do here. All right.
Okay, here you go.
I like it. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's drive time. It's listen time. It's watch time. It's the fastest growing show in Jacksonville. Welcome to Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Let's meet the starting lineup. Playing points at 5'11", sporting a 9 handicap, a golfer from Rhode Island and Ashland University, Brent Martineau. And the man in the middle, standing 6 feet 6 inches tall, from a small town in Wisconsin, former Jaguars player, and don't get in the ring with this guy, current MMA fighter from Murray State University, Austin Lane. And we can't forget about the glue guy, Philly born and Philly bred. He only needs one name, Kuz. How's that? Was that good?
I got goosebumps,
man.
man.
Fantastic. Kuz, I hope you recorded that.
Dang, I got
Do we
goosebumps.
have to pay Josh for that?
Recorded. That's going to be the intro to our show every single day now. What do you mean recorded? Like, that's... we're going to go with that now, man. That was fantastic.
Hey, nice work, man. We appreciate it. Thanks. Hey, thanks for joining us today, and look forward to celebrating Edward Waters College. We'll have Coach Ruffin on a little bit, Athletic Director Bryant on a little bit later on. But, hey, man, be well. Hope you're staying busy and can't wait to get back to normalcy so you can get working again.
Absolutely. Same to you guys, and thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Take care.
All right. That's Joshua Jackson from Edward Waters College, Jacksonville guy, and you know that voice.
I'll tell you what, man. He hasn't been that busy. Like I said, sports have been shut down. I figured there'd probably be like a little rust on those pipes. Nah, man.
Sounded good.
Nah, man.
Sounded good.
Still got it. Still got it.
It is a gift to do that, too. It's totally different than doing like play-by-play and stuff. It's totally different. I mean, the pacing of it, the
Are you born
emphasis.
with that, or is it, like, do you?
Well, you do have to have there's a pre-qualification.
Oh yeah, you have
to have a little bit of a voice
for sure. But I mean, I don't know,
Brent
man.
At 12 years old probably couldn't get away with it. But nice job.
Have you thought about doing it? Have you considered
what's funny about that? I have never done it.
Really?
Never done it. Probably because my voice sucks, they say.
Have you been do you want to try it?
No, not really.
No.
I mean, I've been more interested in doing the play-by-play stuff, kind of like we do at UNF.
You do that.
But I've never even... I don't even think I've been asked to do it before for obvious reasons. They obviously don't want me to do it. But it's kind of interesting. I've been in the business for 20 years. Usually you would at least kind of experiment into a little bit of everything, and I have not done that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, maybe if you want to come,
just sit in my living room and do it.
I was going to say, if you want to come announce like me and Rowan shooting hoops in the backyard or something sometime, man, and like give a little intro for us, that'd be great.
I might do it. All right, we're going to talk some football. Joe Schobert, where does he fit in? What's his defense going to look like? We caught up with him this afternoon. The local media did. What's Schobert have to say? And, man, this 4-3-3-4 stuff, it's real. We've been saying it for a long time. Heck, Doug Marrone said it. It's real. What does the Jaguars defense look like? Let's talk a little Jags. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Our normal way of life has been changing quickly due to coronavirus. New rules to follow, and basically all sports have been put on hold. Heck, you might even be working from home. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau. If you're not in the car from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m., check in on Action Sports Jax on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home to play ESPN 690.
This message is brought to you by Community First Credit Union.
Stop for a minute. Relax. Take a breath. Jacksonville is going to be just fine. Things are changing, and change can be difficult sometimes. Change in how we live our lives, how we run our businesses, our jobs, our kids, our schools, our neighborhoods. But this is Jacksonville, and you won't find a more dedicated, compassionate, and caring community anywhere. From Nassau to St. John's, from West Side to the beaches, God knows we can weather a storm, and we can get through this as well. All of us at Community First realize that no one has all the answers to what we're facing. But after more than 80 years in Jacksonville, we do know this. Things get better when people stick together. So that's what we'll do, and we'll get through this to a better, brighter future in Jacksonville.
Hey, Jacksonville, are you ready for some good news? Right now, you can score tremendous savings during the construction sale at Arlington Toyota. You choose 0 down with low payments or no payments until 2021. Now that's huge. Get to Arlington today, where you can drive away in a Toyota RAV4 XLE for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments until 2021. That's a pre-owned RAV4 for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments until 2021. How about a Toyota Tacoma for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021? That's a pre-owned Tacoma for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And you get Arlington's 30-day exchange policy on any vehicle you purchase. As always, your safety is Arlington's priority. So go see them today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com. May offers for full details. This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you. House Authority Inspection Service, Diamond Car Wash, Tailor Made Roofing, St. Augustine Electric Motor Works, First Coast Nephrology. If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
Where is this water coming from?
Who will deliver us lunch?
Why is the air conditioner blowing hot air?
Where can I get a tire fixed?
Do you know someone who can get marker stains out of the carpet?
What do we need to do to get the pool ready?
These and hundreds of other questions are still being asked daily. Will the answer be your business or your competitors? Don't leave it to chance. Let Cox Media Group Jacksonville make you the answer to their questions. Contact us at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com and let's build Jax.
Say hello to your new secret advertising weapon, your own branded mobile phone number. StarStar Mobile provisions vanity mobile numbers prefixed by StarStar, providing audiences an easy way to reach your business. Give it a try now by dialing StarStar Mobile from your mobile phone. That's StarStar Mobile.
When times are tough, we veterans take care of our own. If you or your loved one needs emotional support or connections to community resources, call the Florida Veterans Support Line at 1-844-MY-FL-VET.
Hello?
Hey, boss, how's it going?
Hanging like a hermit.
I hear you. Hey, how's your mom doing? I know you're worried because she lives alone and all.
She's good, thanks. Every night she's getting dinner delivered. And every night she answers the door with her SafeTouch security app.
Ah, no contact delivery.
Yeah, and SafeTouch cameras are encrypted with all kinds of safeguards.
Yeah, you don't see headlines about SafeTouch systems getting hacked.
Exactly. Can't believe I'm saying it, but I just feel better knowing she has SafeTouch. She's got her emergency buttons, her two-way communicator, the guaranteed response time.
Boss, sounds like you have a love-hate relationship with SafeTouch.
It's complicated. Because being crooks and all, we still gotta stick to the Crooks Are Us motto. Stay away from SafeTouch houses. Yeah, the struggle is real.
Crooks know to stay away from SafeTouch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Ortho Edge understands the need for medical treatment in times of uncertainty, so the office will remain open. Ortho Edge takes your health and safety as well as the well-being of staff very seriously. All patients will be screened for COVID-19 symptoms, and strict sterilization and disinfection procedures are in place. Ortho Edge also offers telemedicine, giving patients the ability to receive care via video chat from the safety of their home. Visit orthoedge.com or call 204-5000. Ortho Edge, located in the DePaul Building, St. Vincent's, Riverside. This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you.
Maudlin International Truck and Trailer, The Preferred Group, Preferred Roofing and Preferred Building, The Blinds Guys, Gutter Helmet, Expert Glassworks.
If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
It's time for some straight talk. Even though most live sports are on hold now, big wireless companies haven't stopped playing games. They're always trying to lock you into overpriced contracts. With Straight Talk Wireless, there are no contracts. It runs on America's best network, same as the big carriers, but you save up to 50%. $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G. You might miss sports, but don't play games, you'll lose. Straight Talk Wireless. No contracts, no compromise.
Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Every home has things it needs, things that need to be maintained, fixed, or replaced. The Home Depot is here to help you get it done. You can easily find what you need on our app, order it online with the push of a button, and have it brought to your door with free delivery on over 1 million items. We have the essentials you need, the online know-how you may need to do it yourself, and low prices that make it all possible. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's drive time, it's listen time, it's watch time. It's the fastest growing show in Jacksonville. Welcome to Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Let's meet the starting lineup. Playing points at 5'11", sporting a 9 handicap, a golfer from Rhode Island and Ashland University, Brent Martineau. And the man in the middle, standing 6 feet 6 inches tall, from a small town in Wisconsin, former Jaguars player. And don't get in the ring with this guy. Current MMA fighter from Murray State University, Austin Lane. And we can't forget about the glue guy. Philly born and Philly bred. He only needs one name, Coos.
Josh Jackson from Edward Waters College, and also the voice of so many different teams here in Jacksonville. We just had him on as we celebrate Edward Waters College EWC Day here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Our continuation of a celebration of local sports as we've done week in, week out over the last couple months, and we will continue to do so. By the way, we had the Bold City Brigade on last Friday, and we have some more fun stuff ahead with some of the teams and also some specific days that we're going to get to over the next couple of months. So thanks to Josh Jackson. He did that live just a short time ago.
Off the top, man. It's insane.
Was good. And by the way,
Freestyle Fridays.
Nothing says local sports like Joshua Jackson. I mean, again, he's worked and helped out so many different teams, and of course now sports information director at Edward Waters College. We'll catch up with Coach Ruffin, the football coach over there in just a little bit, and then the AD in the 5 o'clock hour, the athletic director, Dr. Bryant, coming up as well. We're going to get to the Jags in just a moment. Some conversation about Joe Schobert, about this 3-4 defense and 4-3 defense. There's many things I want to get to with the Jags. I've got questions for you, so be ready. You are about to get peppered.
I'm not even stressed, man. I can't wait to talk about some 3-4 defense.
You do think they're going – when we say – just a real introduction to that before we get deep into it.
Okay.
When people say hybrid, I kind of go to hybrid, right? 4-3, 3-4. You can kind of share looks. You've talked about 3-4 under, more specifically. If I say hybrid, are we talking like kind of base versus nickel, 65, 70% versus 30, 35%? Are we talking 50-50? Or are we just talking the ability to do it and change it up depending on who you're playing?
Yeah, hybrid to me, I mean, listen, like, every coach and every player, they have a kind of different definition of what the word hybrid means in terms of a defensive scheme. But to me, a hybrid defense is a defense that can be interchangeable from a personnel standpoint and can be interchangeable depending on the offense that you're going against. So, for instance, let's say that you're playing the Tennessee Titans, right? Well, 9 times out of 10, they're probably going to pound the rock with that Derrick Henry. So that hybrid defense, maybe that can mean like you bring a safety down in the box now, and it's more of like a 50 front, right? Or it's more of like an eagle front, to try not to get too technical. But basically it means is that you're adjusting to what the offense is giving you.
Very good. We're going to break it down more specific questions, and we'll hear from Joe Schobert in just a moment. But right now, here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690, we started something yesterday here on the show. We're going to continue this, and we want more of your entries. Here's what you do. Go to ESPN690.com, and let's give a shout-out to the seniors in town. And it's really simple. Just send us a name, their high school, and a message if you want, and we'll read the message. We did it yesterday. We do it right now. And how about a shout out to Zion Carpenter, Oscar Smith High School, and Anissa is mom. And she says, I love you, Zion. You left your mark as the state champion and All-American wrestling athlete. Says Zion. That's Zion Carpenter. All right. That's the latest one we have in. So keep sending them in. ESPN690.com. We'll have a senior shout-out for anyone who wants a mention. And just takes a couple of seconds to do it. You have to go to ESPN690.com to register so we can do it and get all the information. I'll also share with you this. We're doing a similar thing on TV. It's not the exact same because we need a picture, and it's also not the same way to kind of register, but you can do it all in one full swoop. Register on ESPN690.com, and also you can share a picture, the name of the student, and also anything you'd like to say, a couple words about that young man or young woman, and you go to sports@actionnewsjax.com. You can email it. So sports@actionnewsjax.com on the TV side, ESPN690.com on the radio side, so we can get a little love to all the seniors who are missing out on the proms and the senior trips and the graduations, although again, I still say I think this class will be celebrated for some time to come, and they will be one of the most unique classes in the history of schools.
Absolutely.
That is for sure. All right, let's get back to the football stuff right now. And 4-3, 3-4, you just mentioned it a little bit. I just showed you a graphic we're working on for TV. What's really hard to do is kind of put these guys out there. But the Jaguars made a signing today. Veteran player, Aaron Lynch, defensive end, outside linebacker, another guy that I bring him up and you're like, it screams 3-4. Yeah. Everybody they're signing screams 3-4.
Correct.
But does it scream versatility, or does it scream we're going to 3-4?
To me, it screams that we're going to 3-4. Okay, because if you were to bring a guy like Aaron Lynch in, Brent, comes from Chicago, played in a 3-4 defense, outside linebacker. Okay. Now, if you take a look at his size, around 270 pounds, if not more now, okay? Now, unless he just is on the diet of all diets, unless he's intermittent fasting for, 24 hours a day, he's probably around 270 right now, okay? So, to me, to bring him in as a 4-3 defensive end, for that quote-unquote big end spot, well, you got Taven Bryan there. You got Dwayne Smoot there. And now you're going to add another piece to that. So you're essentially going to have a depth of 3. And keep in mind, I get it. This is kind of a low-key signing, but still, it's a free agent signing. It didn't really get addressed maybe in the draft. But with that being said, the way the depth is looking right now, Brent, this screams 3-4 all day. And it screams 3-4 not for Lynch to be an outside linebacker, but it screams in a 3-4 for Lynch to be actually that big defensive end.
All right, so they got Lynch. You have Schobert. I want to ask you how all this impacts Miles Jack. Mm-hmm. Because, again, one of the things that I don't know if we got excited about, but I was a bit excited for Miles, is something you had said a long time ago about Miles Jack. I mean, you kind of screamed it through the mountaintops, much like you screamed 3-4 with Josh Allen and Jan and all these guys from the mountaintops. Well, does this hurt Miles if now he's not on the weak side in your traditional 4-3, now that he's kind of coming back into the middle of that defense with Schobert in a 3-4? Don't answer it just yet, but I want to ask you that because I think, to me, that's the burning question. You want to put players in the best position to succeed. Well, he's one of the most gifted athletes you have, you know, and one of the most talented players you might have. We just haven't seen it full blossom. A lot of people, myself included, believe he just wasn't put in the greatest position to be super successful. Let's just listen to Joe Schobert this afternoon, caught up with the local media. He's still up in Wisconsin, and he talked about the 4-3, the 3-4, and really the times that we're in right now, how it could be a bit of a challenge to adjust to a new look.
Once you play for a while, I mean, I played a 3-4 in college. I was an outside linebacker in a 3-4 defense. But once you learn NFL schemes or anything, 3-4, 4-3, obviously different in terms of defensive line personnel and outside linebacker personnel who's on the field, but schematically for an inside linebacker is not so different. There's only so many ways you can play cover 3, cover 4, man to man. There's only so many gaps you can play. It's just about learning where you're going to line up and the techniques and the communication that would go on. But once you get that stuff down, it's really not that hard. You just got to learn. Like right now, I'm learning the verbiage and all the communication for the Jaguars system. Once you get that stuff down, it's kind of just plug and play.
That's Joe Schobert talking today. It was an extensive interview with Joe. He did talk about Miles Jack, talked about his gifts, his abilities, and now we'll be playing right next to him. He said, one of the great things I can do for Miles Jack is just take some of the stuff off his plate and just say, go play football. Mm-hmm. So my question to you is, I see that in the 4-3, but because we really haven't witnessed any of this in the 3-4 and the Jags operating this way and Miles operating this way, do you limit him at all, putting him kind of back in the middle, even though he's alongside Schobert, not making the calls, not necessarily having to be the quarterback? He can still go play, but he does get kind of pushed back into the middle, at least in theory.
So if you do a 3-4 defense, is Miles Jack play middle linebacker? Absolutely. But take any preconceived notion that you have of Miles Jack from last year play middle linebacker, okay? Take any preconceived notion because that's getting thrown out the window. An inside linebacker in a 3-4 defense is nothing like an inside linebacker in a 4-3 defense, okay? Joe Schobert, first of all, he's going to be the game caller. He's going to be the general that gets everybody lined up because a big part of a 3-4 defense is making sure everyone's on the same page, right? Where you come from kind of a base 4-3 defense, Brent, where they ran last year, where it's kind of like, all right, each guy kind of has their one job. You know, there's not a lot of calls to be made. Just line up and make sure everyone does their job, and you're good to go. Now, we saw some problems with that, obviously, with teams against like the Panthers, obviously, and the Houston Texans running the ball down the Jaguars' throat. So there was communication problems last year. So one would be nervous, actually, to go to a 3-4 defense this year because you need more communication. You need to make sure that people are lined up in the right proper spots, even more than a 4-3 defense. This is where Joe Schobert comes in, okay? A guy who's very versed in both style of defenses. A guy who played inside linebacker, outside linebacker, and pretty much everything else in that Jim Leonhard Wisconsin defense. So he's versed there. He's versed from the Cleveland Browns. He's played both spots as well. So there's no better guy to be the field general to get guys lined up than Joe Schobert, okay? So the inside's taken care of. All the calls, taken care of. Set it and forget it. So then that begs the question, what gets put on Miles Jack? And here's the beauty of it. Like we said last year, Miles Jack probably had problems lining people up, right? He had problems of diagnosing where the run was going to be, and sometimes he was out of his position. Now, a lot of that came from the standpoint of the defensive line didn't do him a lot of favors sometimes. Regardless of what you think happened, Miles Jack this year is going to have a couple jobs, Brent. He's going to be blitzing. He's going to be playing off the 3 technique and filling the hole, and that's it. Okay, so as opposed to making call here, strong side left, strong side right, drop back and cover. No, man. All you got to do now is when your name gets called to blitz, you blitz. When your name gets called to fill a hole, you fill the hole. It's going to make Miles Jack's job so much easier. And when you talk about a guy who's super athletic, who we always praise for being just a speedster on the field, playing sideline to sideline, this is where it fits Miles Jack. Because now Miles Jack can use his tools to his advantage. And when his number gets called to come blitz, well, it's Myles Jack, man. I think he's going to be okay blitzing. So I'm excited for Myles Jack from that standpoint.
I love it then. You just put me at ease a little bit more because I think Myles Jack still has some crazy upside to be a star in the league. I really do. I understand it hasn't materialized just yet. I also think whether it's him or whether it's the Jags and how they used him, they haven't used him appropriately or the best that fits him. And maybe they've tried some things and thought he could handle more than he could. We don't know that part of it, but the bottom line is he fits better on that weak side. You've said it for over a year. And now in this kind of, hey, just use that athleticism, just go play and go get somebody. Yeah. And I'm really interested to see that. I love that for Myles because, again, I think there's a reason they spent money on Myles Jack. I think there's a lot in there that's been untapped and been inconsistent. And again, I think some of it's maybe the dynamic of where they've been, also what they've put on his plate, and now maybe he settles into his football career this year. So I love the idea that you just put me at ease, that I can maybe get the most out of Myles, whether it is the 4-3 or 3-4.
Yeah, and we talk about it all the time, Brent. That's what makes a great defensive coordinator. It's setting your players up for success. Now, I'm here to tell you, in a 4-3 defense, I could have never done what Puzz did, okay? I could have never got people on the same page, lined up properly, and then do my job. Listen, there's a lot that happens in that span of the huddle breaking and like the 10 seconds of a ball getting snapped, okay? And that middle linebacker spot like Puzz played, like some of the greats have played, it's not for everybody. It's not a knock of you as a football player. It's just sometimes you don't really absorb the information right because, like I said, I couldn't do it. So I'm excited from the standpoint, once again, Myles Jack's doing what he does well. He runs around. He's an athletic freak. You turn him loose. Don't make him sit behind the line and diagnose things and think, all right, he's got to go here. He's got to go there. No, man. You don't win ball games like that. You win ball games by bringing out your players' strengths. And Myles Jack's strengths is the speed and the strength.
All right, another guy in this that I kind of am curious about. And people are curious about Yannick Ngakoue anyway. But Yannick Ngakoue has 37.5 sacks. He's second all-time in Jaguars history, rushing off the edge in a 4-3 defense. Now you're going to switch things around potentially into 3-4. And come with me here, folks, because, again, I feel like I'm still in the minority on this, but I don't think Yannick Ngakoue is getting traded. And so I think he's on the football team at least for the first half of the year. We can go into all that later, but I believe that. I don't think he's going anywhere. Something could change, but I know a lot of folks will pencil Chase on in here, and that's fine because I know he can do that role, and he has done that role in that 3-4 look. But I still think Jan is playing, which means I think Jan is starting. And at least for the first 2 months of this football season before the trade deadline, I think he's a part of it. So where does he fit in it? How much does it change his role? Can he excel in it? Can he be just as good, or can he even be better?
So in this 3-4 defense, right, you're going to have a strong side guy and you're going to have a weak side guy. Now, that should tell you everything that you need to know of what their jobs are. The strong side guy, you expect the run to come to your side. So one of your very first jobs is to frame up any single tackle that's trying to block you for an outside run. So with that being said, obviously, you're going to go with Black Panther, right? You're going to go with Josh Allen because he's the bigger defensive end. He's still a great asset with pass rushing, but in terms of stopping the run, being stout, setting the edge, Josh Allen's on the strong side. So that leads me to believe that Yannick Ngakoue would be on the weak side. Not saying that he can't play the strong side as well, but I think Yannick Ngakoue is best versed on the weak side. So that begs the question, what does that job entail? Think of like that Leo technique that the Jaguars have been they've used it for a while. I know, right? But think of like the Leo technique where, you get a little wider and it's literally your job to kind of stop the run on the way of the quarterback. That's what the weak side linebacker does a lot, okay? Where you take the pitch, man, you have to watch out for screens, the flats, all that stuff. But essentially, man, you got it made because you're in a 3-4 stand-up stance, which Yannick Ngakoue has been in before. But now you're not really taking the brunt of the tight ends and things like that. So you're outside.
Not getting chipped.
Yeah, you're not getting chipped, okay? So it's more for the pass rusher-friendly defensive end, which I think Yannick Ngakoue is. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, though, right? Because 3-4 defense, you have to drop back into coverage. And this comes with a big question. Can Yannick Ngakoue be depended on to drop back in coverage? Can Josh Allen be depended to drop back in coverage? Because guess what? Both guys would be doing that. And I'm here to tell you absolutely yes. Okay? One of the biggest transitions that defensive ends go through, because I've been here, going from a 4-3 defensive end to an outside linebacker spot like I was in Chicago, it's your stance. it takes a long time to learn how to rush from a three-point stance if you're not used to it. I wasn't used to it, man. I had to start from ground zero again and build up my stance again because I was having my hand in the dirt. Yannick Ngakoue rushes from a two-point stance. Josh Allen rushes from a two-point stance. Chason has obviously rushed from a two-point stance. Now, they might switch it up a little bit here with the footwork, but overall, they're already ahead of the curve because they're used to standing up. That's the first hurdle, all right? And they've already obviously passed that hurdle. So going forward now, can they drop back into coverage? And I think so because I don't say drop back into coverage like, all right, well, let's put Josh Allen man-to-man on the tight end. Let's put Josh Allen man-to-man on the running back, and let's make sure Yannick Ngakoue does the same. No, these guys will be dropping back into seam-flat routes and hook-to-curl routes. All that means is what they've been dropping back in a 4-3 defense, they'll be doing the exact same thing in a 3-4 defense. So nothing changes in my standpoint from the coverage for the defensive ends or outside linebackers.
Yeah, very well said. You answered all my questions. I wondered about Yannick in the passing game as well. So you just answered how that would stack up. I mean, the bottom line here, listen, this is not a mystery. First of all, they are going to show the looks. Doug Marrone said it over draft weekend. Yeah. I mean, they have acknowledged that they are. How much of it and how do they really fit? And the guys that have to make adjustments are more interesting to me. That's why Miles and Yannick are interesting here to me. The other guys that they've brought in are familiar with it. I mean, that's why you know they're going to go with it. One more thought on Yannick Ngakoue here. Do you know how long it's been since he last tweeted?
No idea, man.
A week.
Wow.
It's been 7 days.
Yeah. I'm sure he's getting some training in. I'm sure we went on Amazon, Amazon Prime, got some of those new kettlebells in, got some of those new resistance bands in, and he's killing it right now in the workouts.
I don't want to make too much light of this. I'm serious about this. Is he kind of changed positions? Is he basically saying, all right, listen, this didn't work. I mean, a lot like we said, really, I'm not saying he listened to us. He might have, but I'm just.
I'm sure he listened to us. Not sure if he agreed with us. Yeah.
But seriously, is this a little bit of a change, a little bit of a pivot for Jan to say, all right, listen, I got to suck this up. Attacking people on social media, the continuing of cryptic tweets or point blank tweets not working. I'm going in the bunker and I'm going to get ready to work and. We'll see where it goes from there. But it looks to me like a little bit of a pivot. This is a guy that has not been quiet for a week in a very, very long time. Yeah. And he's come off social media to do that. Now, I have not checked him on the gram. But on Twitter, he has not said anything in a week. I think this is a little bit of a sign of saying, all right, we're going to try this tactic now and see if we can get out of here.
Well, and listen, I don't think it's much of trying a tactic. I think it's just going back to being himself, right? Because I was very adamant about saying the only time, and I've been on the show now for a year and some change, and the only time I've ever really bad-talked Yannick Ngakoue or been disappointed Yannick Ngakoue was when he called out Tony Khan, okay? I didn't even mind the comment where it was like, he's trying to make his money and the whole pandemic thing's going on. Okay, I mean, people want to take that out of context, so be it. I wasn't offended by that, okay? But the whole Tony Khan thing, man, to me, that was a bad look because it was out of character and it did nothing, okay? All it did was make yourself look bad. And listen, whether it's here or someplace else, I just want to see Yannick Ngakoue get paid. I just want to see the system of the NFL work for a defensive end who busts his ass, who comes out every single day and does the right thing. I just want to see that work. So I want to see Yannick Ngakoue either play here or someplace else. But the fact that he's kind of been off the grid now, Brent, he's kind of gone silent a little bit, I think it does show that, you know what, man? You can either embrace this and just be yourself, or you can embrace it and try to play the heel character. But like I said, in my rants like a couple weeks ago, unfortunately, you don't have the NFL landscape. You don't have the sack numbers, which obviously can be a little analytical in the standpoint of how important is that. But he doesn't have the numbers. The landscape's not there for him to be the ultimate heel, okay? Because he's not going to get what he wants. So I think we have a case now of Yannick Ngakoue going back to the old guy who's ready to work and hopefully putting good vibes out there where he hopes that it works out in his benefit eventually.
Yeah, it's just interesting. It's just something I noticed. I was thinking of it yesterday, actually, and I was like, oh, wow, he hasn't said anything in a long time. I don't know what it means, but I will tell you what we said back, I think I said it. If he was sitting right here, the advice I would at least give him is, listen, just admit that it's over for now and go back and go to work and go take your $1.1 million a week for now. Mm-hmm. And if you just go be the guy that you've been and still want to trade, just work it behind closed doors. And I got a feeling now, especially since they've beefed up that room a little bit, there's no holes necessarily if they were to trade them. Then the trade deadline becomes an option. And maybe it's before that. Maybe it's around the Labor Day. I always think the Labor Day milestone is an interesting one because teams get a little, they're like, oh, we need this, we need that. They might trade something away. But obviously the trade deadline is an obvious one. And so my thought was, listen, admit you lost this segment of this disagreement. Just go back to work. Go get your check because you've earned that. Go get your $1 million they're willing to pay you a week. Go play ball. And then I think that might be your fastest way out of Jacksonville. Do I guarantee that you get traded at the trade deadline? No, but I think there's a decent chance. If you look at guys have been out of Jacksonville, get traded out of Jacksonville, they necessarily haven't had to throw a fit to do it. Mm-hmm. And so I'll be interested to monitor this and how it ends and see if this flip or if it is a flip or if it's just a quiet period and he's on some boat in the Atlantic Ocean, I mean, who knows? So, but it's still interesting to follow. And if we're kind of witnessing a little bit of a pivot for Yannick Ngakoue. What I don't know, I haven't checked. I wish I had. I doubt he's been part of the virtual period. I can't imagine during all this he's been participating in those kind of things.
Sure.
But the Jags now can say they feel a little comfortable at least having bodies there. They have Chase on, they have Allen, and so they don't have to wait on Ngakoue to get caught up with everything. Mm-hmm. They say, well, get caught up when you get caught up, but we can operate without you if we need to.
You're absolutely right. And it also begs the question is, how is the locker room dynamic going to be now with Chase on coming in, right? Because I think Yannick Ngakoue, I think Josh Allen will be the first guy to say that Yannick Ngakoue was great with the development of Josh Allen, right? Like Yannick Ngakoue helped him out a lot. And I wonder how it's going to be now with Chase on, obviously with the contract and everything with Yannick Ngakoue, what's going on, the trade and everything. But how does he embrace a new teammate at his position? That's going to be a very telling thing. And now let's be honest. There's two ways to go here. He can embrace the new teammate, the guy that essentially is going to take his spot one day and come out in a good light, or he can just close all doors and be like, no, man, I'm not going to help you out. Good luck. And that could maybe rub some other coaches' interest in bringing Yannick Ngakoue in the wrong way.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to watch the part of this throughout the summer and into training camp. Hopefully there is one. Hey, when we come back, we continue to celebrate Edward Waters College. The football coach from the Tigers will join us, and we'll give away a $50 gift card to Metro Diner right after this on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly to mostly sunny and hot today. Highs around 90, dropping into the mid-60s tonight. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 at Fox 30. Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
Weather is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Did you have to postpone popping the question because of the COVID crisis? Get 5 years, 0 interest now at Beards Diamonds. Hey, Jacksonville, are you ready for some good news? Right now, you can score tremendous savings during the construction sale at Arlington Toyota. You choose 0 down with low payments or no payments until 2021. Now that's huge. Get to Arlington today, where you can drive away in a Toyota Corolla for $199 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. That's a pre-owned Corolla for $199 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. How about a Toyota Camry for $249 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. That's a pre-owned Camry for $249 a month with 0 down or no payments until 2021. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And you get Arlington's 30-day exchange policy on any vehicle you purchase. As always, your safety is Arlington's priority. So go see them today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com. May offers for full details. This is a CMG Build Jax business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for all. Business across North Florida, big and small, are adjusting to meet your needs and give you great deals to build back. Like George Moore Chevrolet, 0% APR for 84 months. See dealership for other incentives. Please support local stimulus. Email buildjax@cmg.com. That's buildjax at cmg.com. We're in this together, and together we will win.
These can be unsettling times, but CGC Water Treatment wants you to know that they are there for you and your family. CGC Water Treatment has 50% savings for you. Purchase a Premier Softener and save 50% off a K5, Connecticut's premier reverse osmosis system. When the shelves at the stores are empty, it's a great feeling to have purified water right at home. Call 904-694-2242 or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you. Crabtree Plumbing, North Florida Agency Bacon Insurance, EnviroPure Restoration, Tim's Mobile Service Trailer Repair. If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
Hello, I'm Chuck Barnes. At Barnes & Cohen, we're pulling out all the stops to protect your health and ours. We have the latest software that enables our staff who are at high risk to work remotely without sacrificing first-class representation. Our offices remain open. We have a sanitized conference room, but maybe your best option, meet us here in our courtyard. Barnes & Cohen will continue to serve you in the safest way possible.
Hello?
Hey, boss.
Why are you calling me?
Well, I was gonna come over, but I thought I should be practicing social distancing.
Oh, that's responsible of you.
Thanks. So I'm calling because I want to read you this new article in the Crooks of Us newsletter.
If it's about Safe Touch security, I don't want to hear it.
Boss, you want to hear this. The headline reads, Safer at Home with Safe Touch Security.
Safer at home with Safe Touch?
Yeah. It says, with people staying home more than ever these days, Safe Touch Security is the answer for peace of mind at home.
Yeah, the guaranteed response time, the two-way communicator, the video monitoring.
Yeah, and more.
Great. So what you're telling me is, whether they're home or not, the Crooks of Us motto is stronger than ever. Stay away from Safe Touch houses.
It's written in stone, boss.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Men, are the effects of hypertension, diabetes, or prostate cancer preventing you from having a satisfying love life? In just one visit, the doctors at Prime Men's Medical Center can help you overcome ED or PE to regain your confidence and have you last longer in the bedroom. Name brand pills don't work for many men and can have serious side effects. The highly skilled physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center provide custom blended medications that are safe, effective, and work immediately, regardless of your medical history or age. You'll see results on your first visit, guaranteed, or your consultation is free. So if you have problems in the bedroom, call now for a private consultation. One call, one visit, one simple solution to regain your love life. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now at 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105. That's 904-206-8105.
This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you. Joytel Local Internet, Duval Home Inspections, Timberwalk at Mandrin, Russell Pest Solutions, First Coast Irrigation and Lawn Care. If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
With COVID-19, even more local families need food, and kids could use something to smile about. Give a gift in any amount to Jewish Family and Community Services, and it will automatically double. Jewish Family and Community Services, here for hunger, here for Jax.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jax. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Listen, it's riskier for me to drive home after this interview. Everything in life is risky. There are no guarantees. But we're doing everything we can possibly do. We submitted a 30-page document to the governor of Florida and the governor of Nevada on all the things that we're going to do to make sure that this event is as safe as possible. And, we're going to spend a lot of money to do it.
That is one thing, man. They are spending a bunch of money. That's Dana White, president of the UFC. Joined us at the beginning of our show. He was fantastic, and we continue to send out some clips from that interview. We'll do that, and we'll revisit the topic because it's a fun one in Jacksonville, really. I think this feels like a win for Jacksonville. I don't know if some other people have differing opinions, like, I can't believe they're doing this, and that's fine if you do. It's okay. I just kind of sense people I've talked to, hearing from Dana White, the eyeballs on Jacksonville, I feel like it's a win. And now they've got to pull it off. That's part of it. Yeah. There's a little bit of risk maybe involved in that for the city and kind of the perception. But you're hopeful that they'll be able to do it. And I think there's a lot of reward for Jacksonville, not only this next 10 days or so hosting 3 of the events, not only the visibility, but also the ability to get another event down the road, which Dana White told us will happen.
And Kuz, I think the coolest thing to come out of this interview is the fact that Dana White essentially called every single media member a weakling. So if I can get that soundbite sent to my cell phone, because that is my new alarm clock and that is my new ringtone as well, man. He absolutely went off on the media a little bit, but that's just who the guy is, man. Like he doesn't hold any punches, no pun intended. And I thought it was a great interview.
Okay. Hey, before we get to Coach Greg Ruffin from Edward Waters College, we celebrate EWC here on a Tuesday of Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. I want to give away a $50 gift card. It's like I didn't buy it for you. Actually, it's thanks to Metro Diner. And also thanks to everyone here at Cox Media Group for lining it up. So here is the deal. It's Cinco de Mayo, so let's go caller number 5. This is easy. Yesterday was 4. Today is 5, and it's 904-362-9901. $50 gift card to Metro Diner. And you can help celebrate Mom's Day on Sunday, by the way, by putting in an order, ready-to-eat brunch, lunch, and dinner meals like a meat lover's casserole, roasted turkey, or pot roast. And guests can pre-order through Friday, May 8th. That's this Friday. And pick them up Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, just in time to celebrate Mother's Day. $50 gift card to Metro Diner, 904-362-9901. All right, Kuz is juggling a lot of things right now, so hopefully we can get the head football coach of the Edward Waters Tigers on right now, and that is Greg Ruffin. He's been hanging around for a few minutes. So, Coach, happy Edward Waters College Day here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Thanks for hanging around. I know we went to a commercial break, but hope you and your family are doing well.
All is well. Thank you guys for having us.
No problem. You have some fun things going on, and in essence, it's a new era, but also it's a new era that begins in kind of a strange way with the COVID-19. How are you handling things as you enter your first year at EWC, and obviously this is an unprecedented way to do it?
Well, going into year 3, I think, the biggest thing is, nobody has an advantage on any other. Every school across the country is having to go through this situation. So I think, we just got to continue to do what we do best, just continue to reach out to our guys. And as you see, there are a lot of video meetings, and, we're kind of doing the same thing. We have Zoom sessions with our guys, and we're able to keep them abreast of everything that's going on with our school. And then our administration has done a fantastic job of reaching out, and our website is fantastic in terms of, kids having all the information that they need to be able to keep in contact and stay abreast of whatever new programs, whatever's going on our campus.
Yeah, Greg Ruffin with us, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. By the way, I apologize. I was looking at a number 1 and saying the third at the same time. So Greg Ruffin in his third year as a head coach at EWC. Sorry for the misspeak. But you guys have some fun stuff going on with the new stadium. Where is that at, and how helpful is that?
Well, it's actually right outside of our doors right here where we have a field house here now. Of course, the school took over the James Weldon Johnson Middle School. That's part of our campus now. And, they've always practiced there on that field. It sits right behind our gym. And so now we have, the ability to go in and we're playing at home. I think in past years, this is the 20th anniversary when they brought the program back in 2001. I know they played at Range, they played at Jackson, they played at Stanton, they played at, when I first got here, University Christian. You know what I'm saying? So they played at least 4 or 5, played at First Coast this past year. So, having an identity now, this is what it gives us. It gives us a chance to say, this is our home, this is where we're at, instead of being in a situation where every game you got to get on the bus. And sometimes, I just say, it doesn't feel like a home game when you got to get up, pack everything up, and go to somebody else's place. So this is going to be phenomenal for us. And I think, for what it does for the program, it just shows that we're vested. We want the community to be vested in what we're trying to do over here. And I think, from a recruiting standpoint, it kicks some doors down that we otherwise may have not been able to get into in the past.
Coach, you mentioned, the identity. And I think right now with the landscape of sports, football is probably the hardest sport in terms of trying to get the message across to your players, right? Because as a football coach, obviously you have a goal, you've established the culture, but every single year there's new goals, every single year there's new messages. So exactly how hard has it been to try to purvey those messages and to try to get everybody on the same page when you can't do it in person?
Well, it's not. I think the hardest part about it is you're having to bridge the gap between the newcomers and the returners. So we've done a good thing with where getting those guys introduced to each other from a visual acclimatization standpoint of putting them on Zoom or Microsoft Teams and things of that nature, and we're disseminating information as such that not only are our returners getting it, but all of the guys are getting it. The guys that haven't even set foot on our campus yet, so that when they come here, everybody has received the same type of information, and we're all on the same page. And I think that's the biggest thing. If you ask any coach across the country, it's just being able to maintain some semblance of having guys on the same page.
Greg Ruffin, the head football coach at Edward Waters College. We celebrate EWC today. The Tigers on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Had Joshua Jackson on a little bit earlier. That was a lot of fun. Coach Ruffin joining us once again. I believe it was last summer. Joined us before the start of the football season, if I'm not mistaken, last year. And we'll have AD Dr. Bryant on a little bit later on as we celebrate EWC. You said something that's interesting, because if you think about football programs especially, there is a lot of difference between the haves and have-nots, from facilities to other things. Well, it's kind of an even playing field right now, isn't it? Like all across the country. I mean, everybody can get Zoom, and so everybody's kind of doing a similar thing. Might be going about it a little bit different way, but it's pretty unusual in the football landscape, whether you're Division I, Power 5, non-Power 5, Division II, 3, NAIA, all these different classifications. Again, dollars, funding, facilities, all different. So it almost feels like night and day at some of the programs. Not this time of year. You can be just as creative and gain just as much ground, it feels like, with these virtual periods.
Right, and I think what's going to happen out of all of this is that the NCAA or the NAIA, they're going to say, you know what, this was pretty successful across the board, and it's going to be another way to skin the cat. You know what I mean? In terms of what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. I think it's going to enhance them, and especially in particular with the NCAA having a dead period and you can't do this, can't do that. I think they're going to implement some type of period where you can be able to do this solely. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Greg Ruffin with us, EWC head football coach. Coach, what kind of kid do you get in here at EWC? I want to make sure that doesn't sound flippant or anything like that, but you get what I'm saying. What are you looking for? Obviously, you're looking for a good football player, but looking for a good young man. What kind of player, when you out recruiting, do you kind of try to attract to EWC?
Well, in particular, you always want to get longer. You know what I mean? If you look at a roster and on that height column, if you got more 5s than you got 6s, you're in some trouble. So, we want to make sure that we get the right combination of height in terms of, certain positions. You always want to get longer in the secondary, and especially, on the edges of your defense and things of that nature. But, and then we're looking for a tough kid. I think, with the way the game is played, there's some sort of, with the way all the passing and the 7-on-7s and all of that, that there's some level of toughness that has kind of vacated football over the years because, it's an East and West game to attain getting yardage to go north. So you're starting to see a lot of teams going East and West to get north, and you don't see as much smash mouth football as you did in the 80s and the early 90s. So, we like to play smash mouth football. We don't want to be solely predicated on being a team that's trying to finesse, because when you get in, when you're playing finesse football, it's my belief that when you get in some tough situations, if you don't practice being tough, they're just not going to get tough on Saturday. You got to put them in those different dynamics, on a daily basis, because, practice don't make perfect. Perfect practices make perfect,
Brent, I'm not going to lie. I have goosebumps right now, man, just hearing Coach talk, because you know where I come from, man. You stop the run, you run the football.
Yeah,
it's all about the trenches.
Exactly.
I figured you guys would
It's
get
all about
along.
the trenches. Coach, obviously right now, with the landscape and everything, with COVID-19, it's been tough on everybody. It's been tough on everybody in sports. Would it be safe to say, though, maybe a silver lining that's going to come out of this, maybe for even your football program, is the fact that right now you have a bunch of players that are essentially training on their own, right? They're learning on their own, they're training on their own, and the guys that are going to come into camp, the guys that are going to come in ready to go, those guys are going to be those are going to be like the pillars coming forward. They're going to be like your leaders. So, is it almost like this is kind of a litmus test to say, well, these are the guys that we're going to rally behind because these are the guys that kind of went off on their own, did things the right way, and now they're going to be leaders of our football team?
Well, that's your hope and your prayer, but
We know how that goes.
you surely love to have them on campus.
Yeah.
Working out so you can really get where you can be able to test the barometer in terms of what they're doing, because, maybe they're doing some things, but, the biggest thing with working out is, are they doing it correctly? Are they going all the way down on the squat? Are they coming all the way to the chest with the bench? Do they got the proper technique in the power clean? It's not so much as being able to work out, but are they being correct? And because, when you work out correctly, you're able to attain the things you need in terms of having the explosion and all those things that you're going to have to use, on Saturdays on the football field. So we've hoped that we put the right things into them in terms of, with our strength coach, in terms of what he's taught them, and that they can really go somewhere. And they may not be able to do all of the things, but I'm a former military guy. If you can work on the core and the push-ups and sit-ups and box jumps and getting on that track, at least if you can maintain yourself and stay in a reasonable amount of shape, you shouldn't be far off when you get back.
Coach Greg Ruffin from EWC with us, head football coach of the Tigers, as we celebrate Edward Waters College here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. We talked to Joshua Jackson about all the momentum you guys have over there. You also have vision. When you have momentum and you want to make it as good as possible, and you're a coach, so you obviously have a vision. Perfect vision of your football program. Where do you see it? In maybe it'll take another year or two or three. I don't know what the timetable is, but what would be viewed as success? Obviously, a lot of wins, but what else?
Well, I think what we have to establish is a true home field advantage. Having your own stadium, growing our fan base. I think it's very important that we're able to get people on our campus now on Saturdays. I think it's all about your future constituents. It's about the constituents that you have now in terms of who are we, what are we selling. You'll hear our president, Dr. A. Zachary Faison, say a lot of times he talks about emerging eminence. And I think this is a product of us being able to be out there at the forefront. And hey, one thing that we're selling, one city, one team. We're the only show in town right now. We're the only college football program in town with JU dropping football. We have to take that momentum and we have to run with it. Not only as a sports program, but as a college. We have a lot to offer over here, and I think we're going to be able to tell our story, and that's the biggest thing. We got to continue to tell our story. I think our administration has done a great job in doing that. As we go into the third year with this administration, our AD has done a great job as he came in and given us certain guidelines in which he wants to grow these programs as we move toward Division II status and with NC2A. So I think the sky is the limit for us.
Greg Ruffin, the head football coach at EWC, with us. You just said something that's very interesting, and I didn't think about it like that. The JU football program it no longer exists. How much of a boost will you get from that? And the only show in town on the collegiate level, that's reality now. Do you expect to see a bump in talent, in interest?
Well, let me say this. I think they went after a certain kid over there, but we've got a couple of kids that's over there. A kid played running back over there, was pretty good. AJ Mueller, he's coming over here. Was darn good football player. But I think what it does is, when you look. So now when you look from a media perspective, you start talking about college football. You got to say, hey, Edward Waters is it. And I think with us, building the new facilities and things of that nature, we're getting some kids to start to say, you know what, why not Edward Waters? In terms of some kids that maybe would have said in the past, I want to get out of town. And I'm gonna tell you honestly, with this coronavirus thing, we've had parents call us and say, you know what, he was going to school in Kansas or he was going in the Midwest or up north, but I'm kind of scared to send my kids out of state right now. And we have to do the proper job of selling who we are and letting them know, hey, 4 + 4 at Harvard is how much? It's 8, isn't it? And 4 + 4 at North Florida is 8, right?
Yeah. Last time I checked.
and Florida State, 4 + 4 is what?
8.
So when they come on Kings Road, they need to know 4 + 4 is 8 over here. So I don't think, a lot of times much is to say about the institution. But Crisco Colombo sailed Ocean Blue in 1492. It's going to be the same way at Dartmouth. It's going to be the same way at Edward Waters. It's going to be the same thing at FSCJ. So, we have to do a good job of selling who we are, and it's what our message is, because the education is attainable here, and it's the same, and we got a great quality education over here and some great instructors that can give them the same thing if they went in somewhere else.
I love it. You got me fired up. Awesome. That's awesome message. Great message. And by the way, I'm glad I didn't answer that. The reason I stayed away from that is because I already said third is like the first.
Don't worry, Brent. I had your back there, man. I got you. I got you.
By the way, I can't get over that. I'm in my own head right now after starting the interview that way.
Yeah.
Because what I had done is I pulled a bio up of Coach Ruffin, but it was from years ago. Now, we had just had Coach Ruffin on, so that's why I let him misspeak. But I also want to say this, Coach Ruffin. What kind of punishment would I get for that? Like, how many sprints? Like, what you're a former military guy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what's your go-to punishment?
I like that.
At a football practice.
We're gonna put you on that stairwell and put that 45-pound plate in your hands and make you press it over your head. And you got to go up them 2 or 3 flights of stairs, and you got about 35 tours, and all the way up and all the way down is one tour. So we're gonna make you think about it a little bit.
How's that core feeling, Brett? You feeling ready to roll?
Wait,
how's that core feeling?
Did you say 35?
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome to football, man.
It's hot today.
Welcome to football, man.
Third-year head coach. Third-year head coach, Greg Ruffin.
There's no air in the stairwell either, so I'm just letting you know that.
Listen, you got to prove Dana White wrong now.
Yeah, I know. It's really an attack on us media guys these days. Yeah. But, hey, Coach Greg Ruffin, we appreciate you joining us for a few minutes here on EWC Day on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. I hope you and your family are good. I hope you get back to football soon, man. I know there's a lot of excitement over there on campus, and go win a lot of football games this fall.
Well, look here. We thanks for having us, and y'all got to do me one favor.
What do you got?
Y'all got to get over here and see a football game. You know what I mean? We've talked about it 3 years in a row. I want to see you guys over here and support us, okay?
Absolutely. We'll do it. How about, definitely, we don't do our show on Saturdays, but we'll bring out our show on a Friday in the fall anyway, and then come back and watch the game on Saturday.
Sounds good.
Well,
Thank
Coach,
you.
I'm just going to tell you, man, the way you're running the show, the way you're scheming everything of, fighting in the trenches, I might come coach for you one day, man. Forget coming to watch you. I might come coach for you, man, because I'm inspired now.
Thanks,
man. Appreciate you.
All right, thank you, guys.
All right, that's Greg Ruffin, EWC coach. That didn't sound good. The stairs and 45-pound weight.
Yeah.
35 reps of that?
Yeah. Have fun with that, man.
I mean, I've been walking a lot.
How's that core strength feeling, man?
Not the good enough.
Yeah. Dude, I'll never forget.
Dude, I hold my phone out to record something for a minute for TV, and my arm hurts.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine having the 45-pound weight over me.
Man, I'm trying to picture that or doing bear crawls for 20 reps of 100 yards, man. It's, core, though. Core is the big thing.
Core is the big thing.
Yeah.
Thanks,
rough,
Coach
though.
Ruffin, for coming. Yeah, that is rough from Coach Ruffin.
Yeah.
When we come back, we get back to some Jaguars football, have some thoughts on that side. A little bit of a revisit when we had Dana White on, what it means for Jacksonville if you missed that part of the show today. And coming up at 5:30, we'll have the athletic director, Dr. Bryant, on from Edward Waters College. Thanks for hanging out with us here on a Tuesday on ESPN 690.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jackson, ESPN 690. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jacks on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home, play ESPN 690.
It's times like these that remind us all of how precious life is and how our love and relationships are what really matter. At Diamonds Direct, we believe this. Your love and well-being are truly our passion. That's why we've decided to temporarily close our showrooms, a decision rooted in caution and compassion. But rest assured, we are still here for you. Diamonds Direct's experts are behind the scenes helping customers 24/7, giving you access via text, live chat, email, or our special customer hotline that you can call anytime. Remote shopping options and expert guidance are always available, and our commitment to serve you is stronger than ever. Please visit DiamondsDirect.com for more information or to start a remote shopping appointment. At Diamonds Direct, we're honored to be the symbol of your commitment to each other. And while we wait during this uncertain time, we encourage you to be safe, cautious, and courageous as we look forward to better days ahead. It's still your love, our passion, and nothing can change that. Not now, not ever.
Hey, Jacksonville, are you ready for some good news? Right now, you can score tremendous savings during the construction sale at Arlington Toyota. You choose 0 down with low payments or no payments until 2021. Now that's huge. Get to Arlington today, where you can drive away in a Toyota RAV4 XLE for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments until 2021. That's a pre-owned RAV4 for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments until 2021. How about a Toyota Tacoma for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. That's a pre-owned Tacoma for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And you get Arlington's 30-day exchange policy on any vehicle you purchase. As always, your safety is Arlington's priority. So go see them today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com. May offers for full details. This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you. Headlight Doctor, Sweet Dreams Bedrooms Direct, Jesse House and Carpet Cleaning, Discount Travel. If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
Tire Outlet, the local name in tires that you know and trust, is now offering mobile installation. Tire Outlet mobile installation is safe, no hassle, quick, and same day at your home or office. A Tire Outlet professional will bring and install your tires right on site while staying safely distanced. The only thing easier than getting new tires with mobile installation is making the appointment. Call 904-600-0089 to reserve an appointment. Tire Outlet is part of the First Coast community and is in this with you.
The COVID-19 virus has interrupted so much of our lives, especially for college students. From now through April 30th, JELF's interest-free loans are available to Jewish students who need money for their undergraduate, graduate, and vocational school education. To learn more about how to apply for a no-interest loan or to help support a student through college, visit jelf.org. That's JELF.org.
I'm Siniqua Martin Green, and when my mother was diagnosed with cancer, our world changed forever. This experience made me so passionate about spreading awareness of treatment options, including clinical trials. I'm joining Stand Up to Cancer to get information to those who have been diagnosed with cancer and their loved ones. Clinical trials introduce new hope for patients, providing access to cutting-edge new treatments. Talk to your doctor to see if a clinical trial may be the best choice for you or a loved one. To learn more, visit standuptocancer.org/clinical trials today.
Did you know that you have the power to positively impact a local child's life? It's as easy as donating to Daniel, Florida's oldest child service agency. Daniel provides counseling to abused children. Daniel helps homeless teens find shelter and learn to live independently. Daniel connects kids with foster families and strengthens at-risk families so they can stay together. They've done all this and more for 135 years. Please become a part of improving the lives of local children and families by donating at danielkids.org today.
J. David Tax Law wants you to know that they are here to help individuals and businesses with tax debt issues during the coronavirus pandemic. Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Tax problems can be extremely stressful, especially now. If you owe a tax debt, there are new programs available that can help reduce or eliminate your IRS or sales tax burden. These programs expire on July 15th, so don't wait. Get the help you need with tax debt, payroll taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens, and unfiled returns. With a $1 trillion economic stimulus package on the way, the IRS will be collecting an unprecedented amount of tax debt to fund this historic initiative. At J. David Tax Law, only highly experienced tax attorneys will represent you. Never trust your tax situation to anyone you can't walk in and look in the eye. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, have a sit-down with J. David Tax Law. Your first step is a no-cost consultation. Call J. David Tax Law at 904-507-4777 or go to jdavidtaxlaw.com. These can be unsettling times, but CGC Water Treatment wants you to know that they are there for you and your family. CGC Water Treatment has 50% savings for you. Purchase a Premier Softener and save 50% off a K5, Connecticut's premier reverse osmosis system. When the shelves at the stores are empty, it's a great feeling to have purified water right at home. Call 904-694-2242 or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
The virus has hit home, causing many people to lose their jobs, and more are going hungry. Cox Media Group stations are partnering with Feeding Northeast Florida to help source and safely distribute food with a virtual food drive during this crucial time of need. Log on to feedingnefl.org right now and click donate to make a difference by donating what you can to Feeding Northeast Florida. No amount is too small, and if you find yourself not knowing where your next meal will come from, visit feedingnefl.org and click Get Help. Let's come together to help each other out.
It's time for some straight talk. Even though most live sports are on hold now, big wireless companies haven't stopped playing games. They're always trying to lock you into overpriced contracts. With Straight Talk Wireless, there are no contracts. It runs on America's best network, same as the big carriers, but you save up to 50%. $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G. You might miss sports, but don't play games, you'll lose. Straight Talk Wireless. No contracts, no compromise.
Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Pros. Lowe's wants to help you keep working. That's why we're open for pro business hours 6 to 7 a.m. Monday through Saturday. You'll find the quantities you expect with dedicated pro associates and loaders to help you get what you need fast and load you up curbside. Now, more than ever, we know you need to win every single bid. You can count on Lowe's for special values on pro-trusted brands and savings when you buy in bulk. Save yourself a trip by shopping Lowe'sForPros.com, where we can ship thousands of items to your doorstep or to the job site. Lowe's is open and pro-ready.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jags.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio. This is Action Sports Jags on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Back when I was in high school, Wisconsin was a very under-recruited state, being as the University of Wisconsin's the only Division I football program or Division II football program in the whole state. So if you're not going to University of Wisconsin in the state, you're probably going to D3 or you're going to like an FCS school somewhere in the Midwest, one of the MAC schools. and kids weren't really getting recruited when I was in high school. And I played 4 sports. I didn't go to the football camps in the summer, all the 7-on-7 or the combine things. So, and going to Wisconsin as a walk-on, I was just, I'm going to prove Wisconsin's got a great walk-on tradition. So I'm like, I'm going to be the next guy who's going to step up and prove it.
Preach.
Joe Schobert, he's going to take some money too in that locker room playing hoops. Guy can play hoops.
That's what I heard. Must have lost the invite for this conversation. Not a big deal. I'm not upset about it. I'll get my own one-on-one interview, and we'll be like
I was
Wisconsin.
thinking about you the whole time.
It'll be Wisconsin love. I know. But hey, Brett Bielema, hope you're listening to Joel Schobert talk about how there's a lot of untapped potential in Wisconsin. All right, those small schools and everything. Because Bielema didn't give me a chance. I'm still a little bitter about that, Brent, but that's okay. But yeah, it's cool hearing him talk about Wisconsin.
That's really interesting to give the landscape of Wisconsin, and that's where I was thinking about you a little bit, because they must just have this influx of people and big-time recruits in Wisconsin that want to go to Wisconsin, since that's like the school, and therefore you kind of fill positions pretty – like I would imagine recruiting is not hard at the University of Wisconsin. First of all, Madison's a great college town, but – you own the state, and there's really not a lot of competition, and so you really don't even have to go outside the state much. You're getting the best of the state in Wisconsin. That doesn't make you a power nationally, because Wisconsin's not like the best high school football state in the country. But you're getting the best of the best, given the fact that there's no Wisconsin State to compete with, or name your other, Division I football school. But I also found it interesting that Schobert said they do a great job with walk-ons. Like they have a great history of grooming walk-ons and making something out of guys that just walk on the football team.
And that's a testament to, and listen, we're not going to sit here and talk about Wisconsin all day. I wish we could. That'd be fantastic. But that goes to show you their defensive coordinator, Jim Leonhard. Okay, Jim Leonhard is probably the greatest walk-on in Wisconsin history. He's the coach, right? He's the recruiter. So that helps out a lot. So you keep it in state, right? But I think nowadays, Brent, you're starting to see, like, we had Tyler Biadasz on the show, right? Tyler Biadasz comes from a town of 1,000 people, smaller than the town that I grew up with. But with social media now and just with word of mouth, like back when I was coming up, Brent, like we didn't have Twitter, all right? You couldn't watch highlight films on YouTube. Now those days are gone. So, like, you have these small school guys like a Tyler Biadasz or like a Garrett Groshek, who actually went to high school with Tyler Biadasz. Groshek will be playing the third down back this year for Wisconsin. You have these small school guys who get a chance, and obviously it's paying dividends for the Wisconsin program.
Yeah, and listen, Schobert's a good story. From the walk-on to really not having a huge role in Cleveland, turning himself into something, and now, bam, here he is with a big money deal. Somebody did ask a question today. Does it kind of change? Do you worry? It wasn't phrased this way, but it was kind of like the idea was, do you worry about losing that chip a little bit? You walk on, you have to battle for everything, and then you get paid. It's always ingrained in
you, man.
Well, it is ingrained in you, but there are guys over the year, there are separators. It's funny. It's what
Antonio Brown's a good example.
Calais Campbell would always say this. Yeah, Antonio Brown is a good example. Calais Campbell would say this about Jan. He's a guy that you can pay, and you don't have to worry about him just being complacent. He's always going to be that guy. It doesn't matter if he's making $1 or $1 million or $18 million. And so I would imagine Schobert's that guy. You always give them the benefit of the doubt. But there are the stories that guys basically take the money and then you lose a little bit of that edge. And to a degree, listen, human nature is more that. Yeah. Human nature is to say, hey, I'm going to work my butt off. You hand me $5 million, I'll be like, okay, I think I'll stop doing TV and just do radio.
Listen, this goes back to a combine story that I'm pretty sure I've shared before, but one of the scouts once asked me, why do you play the game? And I said, to win a Super Bowl? And he's like, that's what we wanted to hear. You'd be surprised how many different answers there are. Say a college kid comes out and says, I want to play for money, right? Well, what happens when you get that money, whether you're from a small school or big school? Once you accumulate that money, now all of a sudden your passion, all of a sudden your motivation could go by the wayside a little bit. So to prove to your point, yeah, it's great to have a chip on your shoulder, but is that chip trying to get you money? Is it trying to get you fame? Trying to get you a Super Bowl? Those are the questions, if you're a team, you have to ask. And obviously Joe Schobert, I think, is just trying to be with the best middle linebacker that he can be.
Absolutely. Joe Schobert, I think he's going to add a nice piece. He does exemplify what they want to be. In terms of, you can tell he's that guy. He's that walk-on guy. He's a studious guy. He is going to get the job done and no drama guy. I mean, he is that new player that the Jags are looking for. Again, you can still be tough. You can be one heck of a football player. You can be talented. This guy is sneaky athletic.
Yeah.
You're not, because what happens when you think of white middle linebacker? Come on, seriously.
Brian, yeah, I mean, you think, well, I guess Brian Urlacher was pretty athletic too.
Yeah, listen, Kuechly changed the game in that respect because
did.
he's very athletic. But Puz, you think of Puz, good linebacker.
Though, what does Kuechly get? What is he more known for, though? Like being in the right spot at the right time and diagnosing a play, or his athletic prowess? He has both, but all the time I hear analysts and talking heads say, well, this guy is he's a student of the game. He's always in the right spot at the right time.
Yeah, and listen, that comes with that. But this guy seriously has some super athleticism to him.
Mm-hmm.
He told, I asked him later in the interview, like who he kind of modeled his game after. And he brought up the Bobby Wagners of the world, the Kuechlys of the world. So interesting from where, he looks at his game. I was one of the reasons I asked the question is because I wondered if he would say a guy like Puz, because it would have been in that time frame where Puz was playing some really good football. He's growing up in Wisconsin, and not that Puz is from Wisconsin. I'm just saying it's in the Big Ten.
He's from Penn State, though, so probably that's why I didn't mention Puz's name.
It might have been.
Let's be honest
that
right now.
That might have been the reason why. Hey, I want to go back to a conversation we started yesterday but did not finish.
Mm-hmm.
And it was revolving around Gardner Minshew. And you asked a great question, I thought. And quite frankly, I couldn't answer it.
Yeah, first time I ever stumped you, man.
Yeah, I couldn't answer it, and I'm still not sure I have the right answers.
I slept so good last night knowing that I finally stumped Brent Martineau. Slept like a baby. Got a solid 8 hours in last night,
I bet
Brent.
you did.
Oh, man.
But you said, if I'm correct, when you look at Minshew by the end of the year.
Correct.
Will stats or wins matter more?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a good call. And your point is, listen, you can win games, but if you had a chance to upgrade in the draft anyway because you're not sure this guy's going to lead you the way. Listen, the Alex Smith story, which, by the way, I've now seen. I saw it last night.
What'd you think?
It's unbelievable, but he's a great example of this.
Gruesome, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that is unbelievable, really, that a leg could look like that and still now he can do things.
And to still be yeah, it's just crazy. But anyways.
He's not going to, a little side note here.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, see it. It's really good, really well done, and just unbelievable.
But it is super graphic, though, so maybe not something for the kids, man. Yeah, or dinner. Yeah.
You know what's crazy? Kaylee, I think, is going to go into that field. She loves that stuff. You can't get more.
Or she's going to be a psychopath.
Yeah, one of the two. But she welcomes that kind of video. I think I'm like, this will fit in with you for Kaylee. She's a better person than I am. But I cringe at it. I was like, felt like I almost threw up.
I know, man.
But his amazing story. Real side note. Do you think he does? He got 3 years left on his deal, and he can move now. If you haven't seen the story, like he can move around. Now, listen, to me, we were talking about it after the show. It's like he can't play in the NFL at a high level. But I don't know. He doesn't strike me as the guy that needs to say, I made it back. But I could see a situation where not this year, next year, or maybe even the year after, he's hanging around the team. He's been around the team. He's in really good shape because he is in good shape.
He is.
And he almost goes in for a series.
Yeah.
And plays, like at the end of a game or something.
Just to put an exclamation point on.
Just to say, I made it back.
Yeah.
And some people need that.
Mm-hmm.
I try to put myself in those situations. I feel like I might need that.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't strike me that he needs that. I'm not sure. He would only know that.
Sure.
But there's a sense of peace about him, and especially all the stuff that he was doing in San Antonio with military heroes. And so I don't think he needs it, but he might need it. And I could see that happen down the road. I don't think he plays legitimate football in the NFL again. That would just boggle my mind if he does. I don't want him to.
Yeah.
After watching that.
It's interesting that you say that, right? Because Alex Smith is a very intelligent guy. Okay, he's a bright dude, and logic would tell him, like, yeah, man, like, what's the point of coming back to play, right? Like, you have your rest of your life ahead of you. You've made a lot of money. I mean, with your intellect, you can do whatever you want. With your work ethic, you're going to be successful in what avenue that you travel down, whether it's coaching or something else completely. You'll be successful. But at the same time, Brent, he's a football player, right? And he's a football player at the highest of levels. And he's at the position that requires probably the most ego of any NFL spot. So with that being said, do I think Alex Smith will try to make a comeback, at least bring some closure on his career? And I sit here wholeheartedly and say, absolutely. You better believe it. Because I talk about it all the time in terms of guys transitioning out of the league. We're all authors, right? NFL players, they're all authors. And we're all writing our stories. But 9 times out of 10, your story, you don't get to finish it. Right? You have somebody else finish it for you and say, oh, you're out of here because you're not good enough anymore. You're too old. You're hurt. We're going younger direction. Whatever the reason is, you don't get to finish your story. Alex Smith, I think, wants to finish that story. Whether it's just going in for a snap, whether it's trying to, lead a team again, whatever the thing is, he wants to finish his story. And you know what? He deserves to finish it. So with that being said, I think we're going to see him in some kind of capacity on a football field again. How much, though, remains to be seen.
I'm here for it, by the way. I'm a sucker for that story, and I like a good ending.
Yeah.
And he would have earned that ending.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm okay with that. I genuinely don't think he'll play any, real football. Like play where guys are going to try to beat him up and tackle him again. Yeah. I just don't see it. And that isn't smart, in my opinion. It just really isn't. I'd have a hard time coming to grips with that if I'm around him or, heck, even though I'm not around him. I just can't imagine that. But that token series, that token snap, I think that would be a heck of a moment, really.
Finish the story, man.
Given what his story has been, great strength there. All right, let's get back to what we were talking about. But it kind of got us on Alex Smith because we're asking stats or wins. What matters the most? And I think Alex Smith fits that a little bit, right? He was winning games in Kansas City. And by the way, his last year, he put up great stats in Kansas City. He was MVP-like. But keep in mind, they had already drafted Mahomes. So that's kind of the context of what you ask in, because you're like, you can win games, you can do some things, but do they believe that you can take them here?
Correct.
Right? And Minshew could run into that. Minshew could be a guy that, hey, goes 6-6 this past year. People still wonder, can he do anything? Right? He put up good stats. Touchdown to interception ratio, fantastic.
Exactly.
Still, people are wondering. So he could do that this year again, where he puts up, whatever, maybe it's 7 wins, surprises some people, has moderate stats, respectful stats, doesn't blow anybody away, doesn't make a Pro Bowl, but people then go into next year saying, hey, you got a chance, you're 7-9, but you also got draft capital. You traded Jan, you now have 3 picks, and you could slide up if you want to go get the future guy. That will be the discussion. So, again, wins don't solve everything. And quite frankly, I don't know if stats always solve anything, because I'll give you the Kirk Cousins example. Are people in Minnesota convinced that Kirk Cousins is going to lead them to the promised land? No, they have a little angst over it, quite frankly, I think, even though look at his numbers the last 2 years.
Yep. Well, here we are, though, Brent, because you talked to me about being on the fence right now. The question is, what is more important, though? When we're sitting here after the season and we're breaking down Gardner Minshew, are we going to be talking about the wins first or the stats first?
I think in this day and age, we talk about stats first. I really do. And that, I don't think, I think wins resonate. I think they resonate internally. Sure. I think outside pressure, though, is stats-oriented. I think we give guys a chance. We give guys rope. We buy into them based off stats. And if Gardner Minshew, with this football team, wins 5 games, but goes out there and throws for 3,800 yards, let's get full season, let's say 30 touchdowns, and 28. I don't know. What did he throw? 21?
No, I'm excited, man. You're saying, I'm like, yeah, let's go.
He threw 21. But listen, you can do that.
It's in the realm of possibilities. It really is.
You get 5 wins, you throw 30 touchdowns, and you get picked off. Let's be realistic here. Get picked off 12 times. Okay. 30-12. That's after this year was 21-6 or something?
And to be fair, if you want to compare those numbers to last year, Dak Prescott, 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions last year.
By the way, Dak Prescott's he's a great example in this whole thing, right?
Exactly. That's why I brought him up.
Yeah, that's a good example in that. But people are ready to ride with Dak. That's earned him the opportunity, more so than wins have.
Yeah. So here's where I'm sitting at, okay?
So I think it is stats.
It's stats. You know what? And I agree with you. Because, wins, it's more of the collective, right? Because you look at a guy like Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford, his entire career in Detroit, has played some pretty dang good football, Now, has he had the help around him? Not all the time. But we look at the stats of Matthew Stafford and go, you know what? This guy's a pretty good football player. He still deserves to be the starter of the Detroit Lions. I don't see, big riots in Detroit saying, get Stafford out of here. He's trash. He's garbage. He can't win any football games. Not like that at all. So I do agree with you. I think when we're sitting here at the end of the season, Brent, it's going to be what the stats indicate. Because, listen, the national media right now, and a lot of people, even in this town, aren't giving the Jaguars much of a chance at all. Okay? And to be fair, I can picture maybe a 5-win, 6-win season. And maybe that's generous. We'll see. We'll get into that later when the schedule comes out. But I think, like you said, if Minshew goes for 30 and 10, like 30 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, you can't knock it then, right? Because if he can win through a horrible season like that, and when I say win, I mean win on the field with his stats and his performance, well, then what is the guy going to do when he actually has a full caliber team around him? So I wholeheartedly agree with you, and I don't like to agree with you a lot, but I agree with you when we're sitting here after the season, we bring up the stats first and then the wins and losses.
Because here's what we're doing. This is really interesting. I think it's a great question because you mentioned Dak, but Dak's stats have out-delivered, by the way, what I would say he would have done. Mm-hmm. And it's bought him time. See, Kirk Cousins' contract has bought him time, but his stats have also bought him time. He hasn't won. I mean, Kirk Cousins hasn't done anything in terms of winning. Mm-hmm. He finally won a playoff game, but his stats have bought him time. You know, and obviously there's that eye test to all of this, too, that exists, right? There's that feeling, this gut, and that's a little bit of the problem right now with Minshew that people have. He's a 6th-round pick. He doesn't have a rifle arm. He's not super tall.
Because everyone's got what.
But that's the issue. I mean, you get labeled that way.
No, listen, it absolutely is the issue. And let's agree here. On the national spectrum in sports media, that is the major issue, okay? It's like he's not tall enough. Does he have a strong arm? Can he be a leader? Is this just all hype? Like, I get it, man, and this is the biggest mistake I feel like, or one of the biggest mistakes you can make, whether you're a coach, a GM, or someone covering the NFL. It's that you let preconceived notions dictate what you think about a player. There's always going to be outliers, okay? Tom Brady was an outlier. Lamar Jackson, outlier. And look how they're doing right now, okay? So with Gardner Minshew, I'm not ready to say, well, I think he's too short. I don't think he has the arm strength. Just let the guy play, and then we'll judge it from there. But to have these preconceived notions of what a quarterback, how he should act, what he should look like, all this stuff, man, it's trash. And I think it's the easy way out in trying to either cover a team or run a team if you're a GM or a coach.
Yeah, it's really fascinating, man, because I'm looking at like Andy Dalton's stats. His rating is 87.5 in his career. Only 2 times did he have over a 90 rating in his career. And he had the job for 9 years. Now, they invested a 2nd-round pick. And he did a lot of good things, a lot more than people would give credit for. Mm-hmm. Gardner Minshew last year, albeit it was just 12 games, so it was really 14 games, 12 starts, his rating was 91.2.
Yeah.
I mean, Dalton took 9 years, and he only got to that mark twice.
Yeah.
The numbers, you almost have to go back and remind yourself. Like, I just said 3,800 yards. I said 30 touchdowns and 12 picks. And only gets 5 wins. Does he keep his job? That's what we're talking about here.
Correct.
He threw for 3,270 last year, 21-6. To be honest with you, the way I think they're going to throw it a little bit more, add 4 more starts in here, really only 2 more games, though, because you got to remember, he played like the entire Kansas City game, and then he played the second half of when Foles got benched. So he essentially did play like a pretty solid 14 games.
Sure.
So add 2 more games in there. I mean, he would have actually been on pace to do a little bit what I said. 3,800 would have been very appropriate for 2 more games. I don't know if he would have got 9 touchdowns in 2 games, so he would have had more like 27 touchdowns, maybe 26, and his picks would have been still below 10. Now, remember, he had a little bit of a fumbling problem early on. Look to clean that up later on.
Yeah.
So the turnovers are a little misleading on just the interceptions.
Yeah.
But and throw in his rushing yards. His rushing yards were pretty good, too. So I've got to say that if I sat here right now and you signed me up for 3,800 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 12 picks, I will be pounding this podium,
you are worried
if you
about
will.
that position, man.
I will be.
There's other things to address.
I will be saying, let's go.
And
let's go.
Yeah,
let's ride with him.
And listen,
I wouldn't be saying, hey, let's go trade up and get Trevor Lawrence. I wouldn't be. I don't think I would be.
This is why I'm so excited for this season, because I don't have to hear the narrative anymore of, well, he's a 6th-round guy. You know what? When you're a rookie going into your 2nd season, nobody cares anymore, or no one should care about where you were drafted. Okay? You're a starter in the NFL. Congratulations. I don't care if you're a 1st-round pick, 2nd-round pick, or a 6th-round pick. The only time anybody should ever bring up where a guy was drafted is the first year if they make mistakes, right? Where it's like, oh, okay, well, he's a 6th-round pick. We can see that happening. He's not playing. He's a 6th-round pick. Guess what? It's year 2 now, okay? So don't throw he's a 6th-round pick narrative in my face anymore. Doesn't matter anymore, man, okay? I don't care. And the whole jean shorts thing and the mustache thing, that's great. Take it and roll with it. But all I care about, Brent, and this is why I'm so excited, all I care about is what I see on the field, okay? I grew up wearing jean shorts. I still wear jean shorts. I don't need Gardner Minshew to be my jean short savior. I'm my own man, okay? I've rocked bandanas to the nth degree for a long time now. Don't need him to be my bandana savior. It's all good. And I used to rock a mustache back when Shad Khan came into town. Once again, don't need Gardner Minshew to be my mustache savior. I'm my own man. So all I need Gardner Minshew to do is go on the football field and show me, is he the guy or not? And that's why I'm excited, man. Like, I'm excited for this season. Do I think the Jaguars are going to be that great? Probably not. But the one thing I'm most excited about more than anything, even Josh Allen, even a 3-4 defense, which I can't wait to see, I'm excited to see if Gardner Minshew's the guy.
Yeah, me too. I am excited about it. Looking forward to that. Dom brings up a good thought here. To my question, he said, depends. Did the defense give up 6 game-winning drives in the final 5 minutes? Then yes. That was on the defense. Were 8 of his 12 picks returned for touchdowns in 1-score games? Then no. So the feeling is more, can he make plays down the stretch, which, by the way, he showed a couple times already last year. Yeah. Say fourth-quarter comebacks, by the way, in his rookie season, he had 3. Game-winning drives, he had 3. I think if you go measure that to, like, the 5-year career of Blake Bortles, it would almost, like, be half of what Bortles did. It's probably a little off there, but you get my point. That's pretty good. I mean, 3 fourth quarter, and by the way, and hey, it could have been another one, and it could have changed a little bit of the season if, quite frankly, Doug Marrone didn't go for 2 or call that play against Houston, because he had led them back in that one too.
It's a great call.
So, listen, stats don't always tell the complete story, though. I think that's Dom's point, and I understand that. That's why a little bit of the eye test. There is some gray area here when you ask this question. But most people would say, hey, my quarterback just put almost 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, 12 picks, and say, okay, yeah, that's great, man. Can't wait, ride that guy. I don't know if everybody would sign up for that, though. If the narrative would be that would be a curious one. Now, for me, it would certainly be like, all right, ride with Gardner, go get the receiver from LSU and get him another weapon. Yeah.
I'm just going to tell you right now, though, man, because, we're going to be there at training camp whenever it starts, and national media be coming back and forth. If I even hear echoes of, he's kind of short, though, isn't he? He doesn't have the arm strength. If I hear any echoes of that, if I hear any preconceived notions of what a quarterback should look like and why he won't be successful, I'm going to freak out, okay? And when that happens, I want you there to hold me back, because I will freak out. I'm tired of that narrative.
There are phases of the quarterback conversations that are interesting to me. When Blaine Gabbert came out, and I think Tebow came out as well, everybody said, can they take a snap under center? Can they take a snap under center? And it sounds so stupid, to be honest with you, because, like, come on. And
it's like the most basic thing in football.
It is basic, but I understand what they're really trying to say is, can he take a drop, see the reads, react, and get in the position to throw it in less than 2.5 seconds, which you need in the NFL. So I understand the context of the question. But what's interesting now is, I don't believe, now I didn't watch every conversation about Tua, but Tua is 6'1", right?
Yeah.
Very few conversations about height.
It's a good call.
Very few.
Kyler Murray, even when he got to the league. There was some with Kyler Murray in the draft of the combine.
Yeah, remember the combine and senior, everybody wanted to say, what's he going to measure at?
But now I don't hear it his first year with the Cardinals.
But I believe Tua, let me just check this before we go to break. Yeah. But Tua is every bit as tall. Actually, he's smaller than, at least in this listing, he's 6 foot. And I don't want to say nobody, but why didn't we hear that? We heard the hip. Was the hip prevalent because of the injuries, and we just didn't hear height?
No, the guy can throw a football. You still have to throw height in there, man. You can't have it both ways. That's crazy. We haven't heard anything.
I don't feel you can correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe I just wasn't listening to the right stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear a lot of height conversations with Tua. And by the way, I'm not sure I hear a ton of height conversations with Minshew. I just think it's part of the conversation of, well, he doesn't have the arm strength. He's not as tall as you'd like. It's part of the reason, the explanation when he was picked in the 6th round. Yeah. It's not like, oh, my God, he can't play quarterback. Drew Brees has changed that, obviously, the Kyler Murrays. But it's interesting how the QB discussion changes, because if you weren't 6'3", 8 years ago, well, we're not even looking at you.
Exactly.
And now you're like, hey, you're 6 feet, fine, whatever. We can work with it.
It's like I said, Brent, fortune always favors the bold. And when you get those outliers, maybe those guys are maybe too short, too slow, or, not strong enough, you put them in your scheme and it works. That's how you win Super Bowls. That's how you win championships.
All right, when we come back, we continue to celebrate Edward Waters College Day here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. We'll have the athletic director, Dr. Bryant, coming up right after this.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Clear skies this evening, a few clouds later on. It'll be mild as temperatures tonight drop into the 60s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
Weather is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Right now, get 5 years, 0 interest financing on anything in the store. Beards Diamonds.
It's times like these that remind us all of how precious life is and how our love and relationships are what really matter. At Diamonds Direct, we believe this. Your love and well-being are truly our passion. That's why we've decided to temporarily close our showrooms, a decision rooted in caution and compassion. But rest assured, we are still here for you. Diamonds Direct's experts are behind the scenes helping customers 24/7, giving you access via text, live chat, email, or our special customer hotline that you can call anytime. Remote shopping options and expert guidance are always available, and our commitment to serve you is stronger than ever. Please visit DiamondsDirect.com for more information or to start a remote shopping appointment. At Diamonds Direct, we're honored to be the symbol of your commitment to each other. And while we wait during this uncertain time, we encourage you to be safe, cautious, and courageous as we look forward to better days ahead. It's still your love, our passion, and nothing can change that. Not now, not ever.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
They say it should be impossible for bumblebees to fly because their wings are too small for their bodies. But bumblebees don't care. They just fly. Bright Expectations is dedicated to helping our Florida residents with special needs and unique abilities find the resources, support, and inspiration that they and their families need to break barriers and achieve their dreams. Visit www.brightexpectations.com to start your journey today.
This message is sponsored by the Florida Department of Health, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Do you hear something in the attic?
Where do you want to eat tonight?
Why won't the lights work?
Where should I take my car for engine work?
Do you think I need to get this spot checked out?
Where did these bugs come from?
When are we going to paint the house?
These and hundreds of other questions are still being asked daily. Will the answer be your business or your competitors? Don't leave it to chance. Let Cox Media Group Jacksonville make you the answer to their questions. Contact us at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com and let's build Jax.
This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you.
Oceanside Cleaners, Bowers & Associates Elder Law, First Coast IT, American Dock Builders, Crane Contracting, Thompson Select Cabinets.
If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
Hey, it's Coos from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Now, I know there's a ton of ways you can listen to the show, but did you know one of the ways is through a smart speaker? Yes, the Google Home, the Amazon Alexa. It's pretty easy to do. Just tell either of them to play ESPN 690. Try it out weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m., and you can listen to Action Sports Jax.
Hey, this is Dennis Anderson, the driver of Gravedigger Monster Truck, the baddest monster truck in the land. You're listening to Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Hey, welcome back, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. A lot going on here on a Tuesday, man. I tell you, it's been busy. Busy. Dana White to start off the show. You're trying to sneak in some dinner. A little more UFC and Jacksonville conversation coming up in a bit. Kuz wants to have everybody listen to you finishing up your snack or whatever that is. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Kuz here on a Tuesday. We've also been having a lot of fun celebrating Edward Waters College. And what we tried to do here in the last couple of months, and we're going to continue into the summer, is celebrate local sports in the area. We love sports. Obviously, it's hit the pause button, but it's a fantastic time for us to recognize a lot of the local teams that don't always take the headlines. Obviously, the Jags talk is all the time and very prominent. But if you think about some of the minor league teams, the professional franchises, and the colleges in town, that's not always the case. So this has given us an opportunity to do that. We're enjoying every minute of it, and we appreciate all the folks that have helped make it happen, from UNF and JU to the Shrimp and Iceman. We had the Bold City Brigade on as well, and others, and we'll continue to do so. Today's Edward Waters College Day, and right now we welcome in the athletic director of athletics at Edward Waters College. It's Dr. Paul Bryant. Dr. Bryant, thanks for joining the show. Great to have you on.
A good Tiger evening. I'm glad to be on. Thank you guys so much.
No, we appreciate you hanging around, and we had Joshua Jackson on and Coach Greg Ruffin as well, and we're excited about what you're doing with EWC and kind of sharing with the listeners and viewers of our show kind of what you guys are doing. I think you guys have earned that, deserve that, and sounds like you got a heck of a lot of momentum.
You know we do. I am so blessed to be a part of a terrific team. Start off with our dynamic president, Dr. A. Zachary Faison, and his strategic plan, and just being able to lead this institution, this athletics department in the way that he wanted. And I tell you what, we got a lot of momentum going, not only in athletics, but as an institution as a whole. I don't know if you saw, we're just about to offer all of our new students computers. For all of our students, we got some renovations of our housing, and then our football stadium / soccer stadium. Then we have the community field that has a track around it that our community can come and enjoy. We have some things going on with adding soccer, indoor track and field. I mean, I can go on and on because I'm excited about Edward Waters College.
Absolutely. Dr. Paul Bryant with us on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. I want to hit on a couple of things that you talked about and many more in a few minutes that we have with you. But yes, you talked about the addition of those sports that you've added. How unique is that right now in the landscape? Now, I understand the pandemic has even changed a little bit of the landscape, but what went into adding sports? And is it pretty unusual right now at the collegiate level for programs to be adding? We saw recently, I think Cincinnati took away men's soccer, and I don't know if I bet we'll see more of that coming out of the pandemic. Why did you guys add?
Well, one of the things we did, again, that's part of our strategic plan. Strategic plan is to look at what's best for EWC, and we knew that we wanted to add a female sport, and we wanted to add that women's soccer. We knew that was an emerging sport in college, and just we know it's the sport that most people like to watch and be a part of, and we just thought that would be a perfect fit for us to add at this time. Indoor track. We have cross country and outdoor track, and it just made sense for us to offer indoor. That was just another opportunity for our student athletes to participate and really expose their potentials on the track surfaces, and that's why we added indoor track and women's soccer.
Paul, man, I gotta say, just sitting here, listening to you talk, I mean, the enthusiasm, the excitement coming from your voice, man, it's contagious, and it's awesome to hear because, you see a lot of these ADs on the national stage, and they're not really optimistic, right? I mean, they're losing money for the university, and it's kind of a somber mood. Where's all this excitement coming from? Is this something that's always kind of been ingrained with you, or is this kind of the attitude that you're trying to purvey to the student and the student athletes?
Well, this is Paul Bryant. I've always been that guy who, when things look bleak, I try to find the best out of every situation. But to be quite honest, we're doing well over here at EWC. And, so many things have happened in the past, and this pandemic has really hindered a lot, but it's an exciting time. We got a lot of growth here at the institution, not only in athletics, but again, our student enrollment is up. So all of those things makes you excited. And yeah, I look at the realities of life, but I look at how can we make things better? What is the niche? Where can we fit in? And I think what we're doing now here at EWC is something that is unprecedented, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
That's awesome. Dr. Paul Bryant with us as we celebrate Edward Waters College here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. You have some really cool things going on, but in college athletics, heck, in sports at every level, heck, even in high school, so much attention on facilities. Well, you're building an on-campus football facility along with soccer. How important is that to the university? How important is that to the athletic department? And, of course, to Coach Greg Ruffin and the football team?
Yeah, so as a lot of people, they love to see the glitz and glamour of things, and they love facilities. One of the things we've done is this football stadium is going to add a whole nother dynamic to the community, because remember, it's the community field that they can come and be a part of the things that here on the community. But for recruiting, it has been just something that our recruits love to see, not only in the sport of football and soccer, in all of our sports, because the atmosphere is going to be different. So we're going to be able to entertain at our home, and that is something that we haven't had, and that's why I'm so excited to be a part of it. And not only that, but in our gymnasium, in the Adams Jenkins Gymnasium, we have replaced all of the bleachers, and so now we have brand new bleachers. We've added a nutrition stand for our student athletes. We've actually added a tutor hall. Most people say study hall, but we like to call it a tutor hall, because if you're coming in to the tutor hall to get some help, and let's say you're just in there studying and you still don't have a tutor, then you're not getting the help you need. In this tutor hall, you're getting the help you need here at EWC.
Dr. Paul Bryant with us, Director of Athletics at EWC, Edward Waters College. It's EWC Day here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. You are transitioning to Division II. Tell us how that's going. And do some of these facility things, some of the things you're operating under now and the excitement on campus relate to your move to Division II?
Well, here's the thing. It's something that we're looking at. We're assessing all of our facilities. We're assessing all of our operations. We're not sure that NCAA Division II is best for Edward Waters College. We're not sure NAIA is best. But what we're doing is taking a comprehensive look at what we're doing, how we're doing, and we're going to determine what's best fits for EWC. And we have to make sure that anywhere we go, it's going to be the best for us, where we can graduate our student athletes and where we can actually compete at a high level. So it is an assessment that we're doing. For me, I don't have a feeling of which way we go. I just want to be the best at wherever we are.
Okay, so just to explain a little further, you guys are keeping an eye on that. That's an option, but you don't have to do it. You're not committed to it. Is there a timetable for those kind of decisions to be made?
Not at all. So no. So yes, it's a situation where we're not committed to NCAA Division II. What we're going to do, we're still assessing all of our issues. So yes, we needed to improve our facilities, and I think with Dr. Faison, his approach to things was, okay, AD Bryant, you come in, here are the things that I need done, and all of the things that he has laid out, I'm getting done. And so that's just a process. We haven't committed to go NCAA Division II. We're just committed to making sure that we have a clear and concise path to whichever way we go.
You mentioned a little bit ago about the nutrition stand, and people are like, okay, well, what's the big deal about a nutrition stand? Well, I'm interested in this because I think what you guys have created, I think if people are listening to the show today as we celebrate Edward Waters College, you can tell that there's an enthusiasm, there's a momentum, but I think part of that is the culture, and small little things add to that. What was the response? My belief is, what I've read up on it, is you guys took basically a vacant concession stand and turned it into a nutrition stand there for the student athletes, and this was really spearheaded by yourself as Dr. Paul Bryant, the Director of Athletics, joins us on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. How big of a reaction did you get? And then, of course, everybody left campus here in the spring, but how big are those little things to build the culture at a place like EWC?
And I think you hit it on the head, building that culture. The student athletes, we push them to perform well in the classroom. We push them to perform well on the playing surfaces. But then we don't provide them the necessary nutrition for them to have that energy to be successful. So what we've done, we went through and cleaned out that old concession stand that wasn't being used and created a nutrition stand. Now, at my previous institutions, that's something that I created there. But seeing these little tiny things. We think they're tiny, but the student athletes think they're huge. And it's been funny because we're open up one day a week, and our student athletes are begging for us to open up every day. And we don't have the necessary nutritional resources to do that. But that's where the community could get involved and assist us in that process. And it's free to our student athletes. We just want them to be able to come in and get something quick, and they're able to pick from a number of things, but they can pick 5 items, and that's what they will have for the week. And it has been well received by our student athletes. In fact, you see some of the tweets and things like that. They're talking about, we need to get back to the nutrition stand.
well, I'm going to say this,
When you have a request for the smoothie line, probably,
no,
don't
of course,
you?
man. But no, I'm going to say this about Dr. Bryant, though, man. I mean, speaking of ahead of the curve here, he's absolutely right? Because I came from Murray State. It's a D1 school. But, in terms of nutrition, they're starting to try to implement now, like a smoothie stand, a nutrition stand. So, you even have D1 schools that are trying to implement this as well, because, let's be honest, not every school's going to be like Alabama. Not every school's going to be like LSU, where you have all your meals catered for you, and then they're all tailored to your exact needs. Not every school is like that. So, the fact that, Dr. Bryant's kind of taking initiative right now to add to the small things, that makes all the difference, especially with student athletes. So, it's awesome to hear.
Makes a lot of sense. Dr. Paul Bryant, Director of Athletics for Edward Waters College, with us. I'm going to finish up with this, Doctor. You've been at a bunch of different places throughout your career. You've seen a lot of different sports departments, athletic departments. I think most recently at Grambling State, which has such a unique and special history, of course, as well. What have you pulled from those? Is there a common thread of successful departments, number one? And every place is unique and special in its own right.
Mm-hmm.
When people ask you what makes EWC so special and unique, what do you tell them?
Well, the first thing I said, the students, not only student athletes, but the students in general, they have really sold me on being here at EWC. Now, I'm going to tell you, I've been at a lot of places, but there's nothing like Jacksonville, Florida, and the beach. So I tell you, going to school in Alaska, I'd much rather be here in Jacksonville. But the key is the passion and the desire to be successful. Our students, that's what they want, and really that's something that I'm trying to instill in them. You can do it, and you can do it right here at Edward Waters College.
That's awesome. You went to Alaska Pacific University. Coldest day you ever had there?
32 below.
That was without wind chill, or with it?
That was without the wind chill. That was in 1986 or 87.
Oh, how about that? Hey, nice 91-degree day here in Jacksonville, Florida today. Dr. Paul Bryant, we really appreciate you taking a few minutes. I know you're a busy man, and good luck through this pandemic. Best to you and your family, and look forward to some sports being played here soon at EWC.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us, and go Tigers.
Absolutely. Dr. Paul Bryant, we appreciate him jumping on and doing a nice job. You can feel the momentum over there and the excitement. I love it. Great to be able to showcase Edward Waters College today and their athletic department. Thanks to Joshua Jackson for helping me set it all up and for coming on, and for the great intro, by the way, and also to the head football coach in his third year, Greg Ruffin, and then Dr. Paul Bryant as well. So we appreciate it. Hey, we started the show. Let's just finish the show the way we started it, talking a little UFC in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
We had Dana White on. You can go back and listen to the podcast, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. We have tweeted and shared on Facebook and all our different platforms. We're available on all these different platforms. Some clips from the interview. He was strong on a lot of fronts, but UFC's coming to Jacksonville. Jacksonville is the eye of the sports world on Saturday and a couple of other dates in the next 10 days, next Wednesday and then the following Saturday as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, are you like me? This might be a little bit of risk, because there's always risk, but this could be a good thing for Jacksonville to have the UFC here, eyes on it, and also to get some dollars down the road, because we anticipate, and Dana White said, the UFC will come back.
You said it right there, Brent, right? Where if you outweigh the pros and cons to this, I think the pros outweigh the cons tenfold. Okay? So, yes, of course, the way it's set up, obviously testing the fighters every single day, testing their camps every single day. I mean, every precaution and then some is being taken to make sure this goes off without a hitch. And when you talk about how does it help the city of Jacksonville? Okay, like right now, obviously there's probably fees they have to pay for, the arena, so there's that. But I think, and I truly believe, when Dana White says that they're going to come back here, when people can start going to the shows again, I think it's from the standpoint, knowing Dana White and knowing kind of his personality and kind of following his career, I think when he says that, Brent, he's not saying it only for the fact that, there's going to be a show coming here, but it's going to be a big show, okay? It's going to be a pay-per-view type show because Jacksonville has officially kind of ushered in professional sports again, okay? And the city of Jacksonville can take great pride in that. Now, once again, it has to go on without a hitch. We'll see what happens. I think it will. But down the line, I'm telling you, man, I think Dana White, in the next couple years to come, is going to bring a giant show to Jacksonville, a show that we'll all be talking about in a way to kind of thank the city and thank everybody that helped out. And when that happens, that's when the city of Jacksonville is going to, receive those cool things. UFC.
And some dollars too.
Exactly.
You know this sport better than anybody in town, hands down, obviously. You mentioned the Ultimate Fighter. In the TV show you brought up in that interview. Yeah. And it kind of feel like you broke a little news there. How big will that play in the MMA UFC world?
So here's the thing. The Ultimate Fighter, it's a reality-based TV show which features, 10 or so fighters in one house. And they essentially fight each other, and the winner of that tournament-style bracket becomes a new member of the UFC, and he gets a contract. It started off, and to be fair, the first season of Ultimate Fighter is what put UFC on the map in the first place, because the final fight from that first season, that's what got all the eyes on the UFC. So without the Ultimate Fighter, there may not be a UFC. Now, down the line a little bit, it has kind of gotten a little stale. Like, the numbers were down when I was on Fox Sports 1, but like Dana White said to us, okay, right now, in terms of sports, there's not a lot of live sporting events going on. Okay, and with reality television, whether it's Tiger King or all these other crazy things going on, people like reality TV. So what a better way to usher in, your contract with ESPN? What a better way to usher in new content than having the Ultimate Fighter once again? Now, so he did break a little news there. The biggest question is going to be who's going to be the coaches, right? Because the coaches are who's going to bring the eyes. And he didn't really admit to it. He didn't really break any news there who the coaches are going to be, but he kind of hinted at possibly a Jorge Masvidal. And if that's the case, maybe you get a Conor McGregor there too as well. I mean, dang well ESPN will be excited for that.
Well, what was interesting about that conversation is he said, he almost like laughed and said, hey, it's funny, we were just talking about that. So they are really in the works on that part. You got to check out the interview with Dana White. It was interesting. You don't have to love MMA. You don't have to love UFC for it. I think it's a big deal for the city. And some, by the way, might be critics of it, and that's okay too. But I can tell you this, Dana White doesn't care. He certainly does not care.
Yes, sir.
About the media either.
How you feeling, man? You all right?
I feel all right.
Okay.
That was fun.
That was awesome.
That was fun.
Like
I like it. Hey, say it how it is,
my
man.
new ringtone. Like, that's my new ringtone for you now, so get ready.
Yeah, really had a fun show. Dana White, thanks for coming on. UFC in Jacksonville on Saturday. And thanks to everybody from Edward Waters College making it a fun day as we continue our celebration of local sports. And we'll do that in weeks and weeks to come with different colleges and sports in our area in Northeast Florida. Thanks to Coos, Austin Lane. I'm Brent Martin. We'll see you tomorrow again right here on ESPN 690, and I'll see you on TV tonight, CBS 47 and Fox 30. Our normal way of life has been changing quickly due to coronavirus. New rules to follow, and basically all sports have been put on hold. Heck, you might even be working from home. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau. If you're not in the car from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m., check in on Action Sports Jax on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home to play ESPN 690.
Hello?
Hey, boss, how's it going?
Hanging like a hermit.
I hear you. Hey, how's your mom doing? I know you're worried because she lives alone and all.
She's good, thanks. Every night she's getting dinner delivered. And every night she answers the door with her SafeTouch security app.
No contact delivery.
Yeah, and SafeTouch cameras are encrypted with all kinds of safeguards.
Yeah, you don't see headlines about SafeTouch systems getting hacked.
Exactly. Can't believe I'm saying it, but I just feel better knowing she has SafeTouch. She's got her emergency buttons, her two-way communicator, the guaranteed response time.
Boss, sounds like you have a love-hate relationship with SafeTouch.
That's complicated. Because being crooks and all, we still gotta stick to the Crooks R Us motto. Stay away from SafeTouch houses. Yeah, the struggle is real.
Crooks know to stay away from SafeTouch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.